This episode of the Giant Bombcast is brought to you in part by Lisa. Hey, guess what? Lisa is on a mission. What mission, you ask? A mission to give your body the rest it needs with 2 awesome mattresses, plus accessories and bases for a better place to sleep. They also believe in providing a better night's sleep for everybody. And to date, they've donated more than 32,000 mattresses through more than 1,000 nonprofits. Get 15% off your entire order at lisa.com/bombcast and use the promo code BOMBCAST. That's LEESA.com/bombcast, promo code BOMBCAST.
Hello, it is Tuesday, the 28th of May, 2019.
Welcome.
Hello, it's podcast.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for podcast.
Welcome, podcast.
Thanks, podcast.
Good.
You're welcome.
Welcome, good podcast.
Greetings, podcasters.
Hey,
Oh,
Oh, man.
don't say that.
What
to
up,
me.
bloggers?
Oh boy.
Today on the pod,
Oh, boy.
yeah. Hello,
are you guys ready to cast a pod?
it's the Giant Bombcast.
Like,
Why are you just
comment,
doing my
subscribe?
voice?
Oh, you gotta. That's not right.
Did you know that exactly 2 weeks from this moment,
No,
don't say it.
E3 will be 6 minutes old?
Shit.
Wow.
Old news.
Congratulations.
Oh my god.
We're going to
Yeah.
go to LA and we're going to deliver a beautiful bouncing baby expo.
Oh boy.
I love it. Yeah, we're just about.
We're going to smack E3 right on the rear end.
Someone has to.
I'm not ready.
It's going to smack me.
Yeah. No, it's we're. I mean, you know, you've been taking point on appointment booking.
Yeah.
We'll
just pull up the calendar right now.
Yeah, just about done.
I shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
No need to add that stress
Alex
into your
has been
life
booking
right
guests.
Yeah, there are schedules forming
Yeah.
rapidly.
Yeah.
Stuff's happening.
Trucks are coming.
Yeah. How many days we got?
now. It's at the end of the week.
Yeah, Friday.
Okay.
is
Friday.
truck day.
It's truck week.
Truck
Like-
day.
Yeah.
I
I
love-
started packing right after this podcast.
Trucktober came early this year.
That's
love-
right. Never skip truck day.
Mm.
We can't.
We love the truck around here.
Dogs love trucks. So
Do they?
Or they hate them.
Make sure to loosen your trucks, though. You want to get your turning
I
radius
want like a
on.
medium
Yeah?
trucks. You know,
Yeah.
like I want some stability.
Okay.
You get all loosey goosey with the trucks, you're gonna break your damn ankles.
If you're going downhill, you're having a downhill jam, you need them tight.
If I'm having a downhill jam, fucking shoot me in the face.
Okay. 3-day weekend.
Right? Yes.
Everybody,
down-
everybody feeling
back?
rested?
No,
No.
not at all. I was
Ready to go to a different part of the state?
I built furniture. I streamed video games.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I got a lot.
I slept for maybe 6 to 8 hours this weekend.
Ooh.
Minus last night I got a nice
Hey.
night's sleep, but anime
That's
will
not-
do that to you.
Ooh,
Oh,
boy.
no.
I went to
Oh, no.
I went to the anime con.
Cool.
You went to a
just
con?
for a little bit.
You went to an
Just
expo before the expo?
Yeah, you know, a warm up.
Ugh.
I mostly went to see friends. It was nice for the most part. It felt off though.
Are all your friends anime?
A lot of my friends are anime.
Okay.
What does it mean to be
Um,
anime?
First and foremost, embrace the anime lifestyle, which means watch, talk about, and scream at random people about anime. Have a very specific opinion on waifus, I guess, is probably a big part of it.
I was
play
about
at
to
least
say that
3
oh,
gacha
this
games.
sounds like I'm anime, and then you got to that, and I'm like, oh, I am definitely not.
How many alarms do you have on your phone to check for gacha games?
0.
Okay, you're not anime yet.
Can't you just
Thank
get
God.
pop-up notifications instead of alarms?
Well, no, because it's not always. Sometimes you have to make sure you get in there and you pre-roll before the real roll is gonna come.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
and
I'm
you
not
go-
anime enough. I
yeah.
don't know.
I mean, I've only observed it. I was gonna say it felt different this year compared to a lot of other years, mostly because we're all getting really old now. You know, my first anime was like 8 years ago. I was 21. It was just like, yeah, I can drink all night into the like wee hours of the morning.
Oh boy.
Now I'm almost 30, and I was just like, I'm gonna go home. I want to go home right now.
But like you could be talking about cool swords you're gonna buy,
or just buying cool swords.
now that you can afford the cool swords.
You go down to the swap meet hall where anyone can just. There were dudes selling food in there.
What?
Really?
In the swap meet, like
Wow.
bento boxes and
Oh,
shit.
sure. Okay.
But there was a distinct thing missing from Fanime this year, at least Fanime proper.
The smell.
No, I was there.
It's
Okay.
always there.
That's always there.
They pump it in.
Hmm.
It's like a Vegas casino.
Jason, all the hentai was gone.
Where would it
Wait,
go?
I thought you said you went to an anime convention.
Exactly.
Now, don't get me wrong. There was still plenty of hentai up on the like in the artist hall.
Okay,
like, for your
good.
drawings.
yeah.
Like,
Like,
that you're
is
trying
at
to
the bottom of the
sell.
bento box, like Revenge of the Nerd style, like you eat the food and then you're like, whoa.
Wow,
They actually had,
that's
like,
yaoi.
Little post-it notes over like boobs and dongs and stuff. I
Okay.
guess to make it family friendly.
That'll
As
do
a
it.
child
Yeah.
couldn't figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
under
They
there.
can't lift the flaps.
But they quarantined all. So normally, we've talked about the hand check rooms before. We've talked about how they'll play like hentai after dark, and you all in a
right.
theater, and you do like little MSTK with your friends, or you're in there to whack it.
With your friends.
With your friends, yeah. It's
Yeah.
like a social whacking experience. But this year it all got sequestered to the Doubletree Hotel, which was 5 miles away from the.
Wow, that they
from the
really
venue.
separated it.
You had to take a shuttle that went on the highway.
Did
if you
Hentai
wanted to
shuttle.
go to the
A
hentai room.
hentai shuttle?
The hentai bus.
highway.
What is the hentai? Is it just like a giant octopus tentacle that you just board
It
and
was 24 hours, and my
Of course it
understanding was that it was harder to get back. Like there were less shuttles running back
once you got out there, you were like, uh-oh.
But the best part about it is the name of the hentai island was called Silver Island.
I don't.
What?
I don't get it.
They wanted it to sound exotic,
Yeah,
I guess.
well, nailed it.
They couldn't call it like the hentai dump.
The
You
H,
should've.
the H zone. They could have
The
called
H
it a
zone,
lot
yeah.
of stuff.
Yeah.
You
They could
know,
have called it a lot of stuff, but I feel like the more we made jokes
Get on
about
bus H.
Silver Island, the
Yeah.
more I got excited because it just sounds so like.
Yeah,
you
I
know.
want to take a trip to the Silver
so what was the
Island.
bus like?
I didn't get to go.
Man,
Whatever.
come on. I thought you said
Unfortunately,
you went to an anime convention.
I didn't have it in me to make the voyage to Silver Island, but my understanding was that the bus drivers did not seem very happy.
A lot of cleanup.
Yeah.
A lot of like, I imagine it was like, it's all the really, really drunk younger kids who are like out there to be like, it's a
Yeah,
goof, let's
yeah.
go look at that. Woo!
They're not serious hentai enthusiasts like you and I.
Yeah, right. Those
Yeah.
guys are taking an Uber.
Those are
there
the 21-year-olds
directly.
that are like, oh, we can stay up all night. Let's go look at the porno.
Right. The serious connoisseurs are taking an Uber there with all their equipment and their,
Right, yeah,
their
there's a
like
whole- yeah.
lubricants and
Collection,
and such.
Mhm.
But
They're weird eggs.
Could you have just wandered into this Doubletree? And
oh,
just,
for sure.
Yeah, were they
There
checking
probably
for
people
tickets?
Staying there, yeah. So you had to
Okay.
have your like badge
You
from.
couldn't just sneak into the hentai zone.
And I assume there were people there. I mean, the like there was only a few rooms from what I could tell. Again, I didn't go. I was only looking at the brochure or whatever.
Mm-hmm. How did they describe it? How did you know, like looking at the brochure, that like this is Silver Island was where the action was?
They said, exciting news as part of our 25th anniversary of Fanime, we've decided to put all the extremely into hentai people together in their own little hentai heaven or something they called it.
We finally figured it out.
Got them all.
We're gonna get over there, and then at fucking 1:30, the cops are gonna raid that place, kick down every door to every hotel room. Do you think people like? Do you know if people knew that ahead of time so they could like book a room and be like, well, I'm staying.
Probably
I'm staying at Silver Island.
Yeah, and the rent was probably cheaper too. So
Yeah.
like
Oh, yeah.
they were just there. There's also a hentai game room.
Okay.
Where I guess they just probably had computers with Steam running.
Yeah, that's all it takes.
It's the world's premier hentai delivery mechanism.
They still have the raves?
Oh yeah, they
Okay.
had multi-night raves.
Oh,
I
wow.
actually found out one of my friends was DJing the rave this year.
Beautiful.
I didn't go.
I saw there was ballroom dancing. Is that always been a thing?
There's always like a
That's-
black
yeah.
tie ballroom event for like
Okay.
you to do your fancy
What is
cosplays.
the demographic that's into the ballroom dancing? Like, what anime do you like if you were also there for ballroom dancing?
Dragon Ball.
There's tons like
Big
Yuri on
Tuxedo
Ice.
Mask fans, right? That's it, right?
Yeah,
That's
like-
it, 100%.
I mean, Yuri on Ice would probably be a big one. Jan's shaking his head. I
don't
thought
know what that is.
it's the
Yaoi on Ice? Is that what you said?
Right.
no.
Okay,
Oh,
that's
boy.
in Silver Island.
Okay.
I also played some games.
Did you get anything? Wait, hang on.
No.
We're not done here. Did you buy anything at the anime convention?
I didn't
Just
actually.
overall. I mean, what did you know?
What
did
caught
you-
your eye?
It's just, well, that was the thing. Is like we're all fucking old now, and so it was like we could go to this hotel room party, or we could just sit here and drink a little more vodka and just chill out.
Yeah, like you don't need to go to a party. Like I can buy my own drinks.
Yeah.
Like that's that realization of
And
just like, oh, I don't need to go to this nightmare factory to drink.
Yeah,
I can just
and
do
like
it
every
anywhere.
hotel room, even like the non-party ones, like the ones where just people were staying, everyone had like a couple bottles or whatever, and you just like hang out with some friends, catch up with people. I haven't seen a lot of people from LA come up, which was nice, but like, we went to one hotel party and everyone was like dressed in bunny ears and shit, and I was just like, I'm not.
More of a
I'm
cat
not
ear
about-
guy.
I'm more of a cat ear guy. There's something tasteful. It's not big and floppy. It's tight and triangular.
Do they have cocktails?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Sure, it's no party's complete without it. And then I was like gone in 15 minutes. I was like, I want to go home and like, I've been working on a shoe rack. I've been building a shoe rack. I was just thinking about that shoe rack for a lot of
Man.
it. Just thinking about like the pieces I need to pick up from Home Depot.
Nothing like a nice shoe rack.
Yeah, it's great. I can't wait. I have so many shoes.
Shoes are all over the floor.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to do something about that.
Exactly. It's a madhouse.
What games have you been playing?
Brad, I'm playing a little game by the name of Void Bastards.
Yeah, I hear that's not bad.
I think it's quite good. Jeff saw me take a look at this.
I witnessed this.
Okay. Yeah, I saw it at that ID at Xbox event back at GDC and thought it was like the premiere thing there because they had it up on the 10-foot screen.
Yeah, I remember they announced it at the Inside Xbox thing last year. Their first like big kind of we're back to doing
Right.
Xbox events again.
Yeah.
Because it's coming to Game Pass. So that was kind of a big deal for them. I've been playing on Steam. It's really cool. It's like it's a game about you are a prisoner trying to fight for your freedom, basically. And by doing that, or how you do that is you have a kind of a system guiding you, like a friendly little robot man who wants you to salvage parts from ships. And so you're kind of on this, the stage select, so to speak, is kind of this big map of ships, and you're jetting around from one ship to another, and each time you jet, you're using fuel. So you have a lot of resources you need to keep track of, like fuel and food, and you can get stuff like warp drives, which lets you move faster.
Is that just straight up FTL style? Like every movement is one unit of fuel,
Yeah,
and you run out of fuel, and then you're screwed.
Yep, there are other units on the board too, like pirates and stuff like that, which will move when you move. Kind of, it's like a little turn-based
Just like that.
thing, just like that. And then you can dock at any of these ships. It'll kind of tell you before you dock what types of enemies are going to be there, what types of resources you can find. And so kind of like your first meta goal is to build an ID card. And to build an ID card, you need a photo and another thing. And those are like spread out in the big star system. And so you have this kind of larger goal of trying to find these things, but also it is a kind of run-based thing with permadeath. So the combat itself is I don't know, Jeff.
It's a first-person shooter.
It's first-person shooter in the style of like a Wolfenstein-y kind of. It's not like
Is there stealth?
there is stealth.
Okay.
I
I want to say there's like a BioShock pedigree here. If it didn't
They-
come out of Boston.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
there's someone. Well, yes, there's someone who worked on on Infinite. I think.
think so.
Yeah.
They mentioned BioShock and System Shock as a couple of their key influencers. So yeah, it's first-person shooter, and it's a very basic style of shooter. You can move, jump, and crouch. You have a primary weapon. There's a bunch of different ones like a pistol, a shotgun, stuff like that. And you're also unlocking more of these as you play. There's a secondary weapon, which is usually like some type of explosive, and a tertiary weapon, which are all kind of very specialized. My favorite one is like you can shoot it. It's called the Rift Warper. You shoot a guy with it, and they disappear, and they're trapped in your gun. And then you can warp them back in at any point.
Huh.
And where that comes in handy is like ships will have airlocks or locked rooms with like a little window opening, so you can like just shoot them through the window into the locked room. I had an instance once where a pirate ship was following me, and basically pirates work where they will board at the same time as you, and they act as a kind of a third party. They'll fight the monsters, but they're coming for you mostly. And I just spent a good like 5 minutes grabbing all the pirates, putting them in a room together, and then grabbing all the enemies and also dropping them into that room.
Okay.
So you can kind of really like play it not necessarily as a quote unquote shooter, though the shooting is pretty straightforward. It's fine.
And like you pick a loadout before you go in, right? It's not necessarily like you have 8 weapons. You're just like, okay, I'm taking this primary, this.
Right. You
Okay.
get one of each of those kind of classes, and then which ones you get are randomly assigned with your new character when you die and respawn. But you're constantly finding ammo for the other weapons. So if you have a favorite, you can and you can even see like on certain types of ships will have certain types of ammo. And there's also so there's a skill tree where you're unlocking these weapons as well as other perks like reduced damage, reduced radiation. There's a lot of environmental stuff. You get perks so that you have more food and fuel when you start, so you can move across the map faster. But I really like that you can also upgrade like ammo drops specifically. So if you like a certain type of weapon, you can really kind of play that way. And then probably my favorite thing about it is just the style.
Yeah, it
around
looks it's got kind of like a
Yeah.
comic book,
Yeah,
graphic novel
it's
kind of
like
look
very
to it.
kind of early mid 2000s graphic novel vibes. It reminds me a little bit. Jay and I were talking about
Oh, yeah.
13.
Yes, 13. Totally.
That kind of cell shaded aspect of that old shooter.
Are they remaking that?
Yes.
Didn't I
are.
see they're doing
Yeah.
a remake of 13?
Yeah,
which
that's-
For some reason,
every time I see somebody say that, I think they're talking about Final Fantasy 13. That's getting
And
a
not
remake.
every time it's a company
cell
first
shaded.
Yeah,
person
every
shooter.
time someone says it, I think they're joking.
Yeah.
Like I
Also, yes.
Weird.
Anyway.
But it really leans into that, and you see cool stuff of like if there's an enemy on the other side of the door, you'll see like step, like the like Batman kind of
Yeah.
pow graphic.
Banff kind of stuff.
Yeah, you'll see them. You'll actually see a visual representation of them walking because you'll see the steps moving away.
Is the writing good? Is there personality?
Totally, it's very rich, and it feels like the kind of thing that struck me about it is it really does a good job of explaining like what you're doing and why things are happening. Like so. It's all these prisoners that are being kind of used for a greater cause, so that explains why your character is so expendable. And like the flavor is great, where it's like instead of just like bringing guys out of a prison in the future, in this awful dystopic future, prisoners are dehydrated down to the size of like a record and kept in a big filing cabinet. And when they're ready to be freed or put to work or whatever, they pull them out and just spray them with a hose, so they come back to life, and then go out there. And then there's like there's once you're collecting these main objectives, there's a couple scenes of you going back to the mothership and trying to like reduce your sentence and stuff like that.
Do you get to walk around your own ship in first person, or is it all like menu based?
There's no kind of like big hub world ship. All that stuff is in menus. You're only walking around when you're boarding.
It's
stuff.
it's really just more of a map that you're kind of.
Yeah. But it's really fun. They said it's about 15 hours or so if you want to just mainline through. There's a bunch of different difficulty options and stuff. I would say I'm close to the end. I think I'm on the final like main objective, and it really does a good job of scaling. It gets really tough at the end. It forces you to kind of, for the first like 4 or 5 hours, I would just go in with the pistol almost every time, just like shoot everyone I see. And then I was running low on ammo. It's like whatever. I have like 4 different guns. I can just swap between them. But even making it out of a ship in the end game like once feels like a huge accomplishment. And that's something you have to do like 6 or 7 times if you want to make it through to whatever ship you're chasing down. It's a lot of fun. It's the most fun. There's always people who are very purist about the term rogue and roguelike and stuff like that. But as a generic term, I think it applies here, and I think it's the most fun I've had with a roguelike since probably Necrodancer.
Neat.
Yeah, it nails the style. The gameplay's solid. Like the kind of the humor is really good. It's worth checking out. It's only $30, and like I said, it's on Game Pass for free.
I'll be checking that out. Yeah, that's great.
But it's great. Check it out. We got a quick look on the site right now.
Right
Excellent. I want to play that. That looks cool.
It's fun.
I love the look of that game, for sure.
Playing anything else? Anybody play anything else?
I've been playing
Yeah.
more Baba's You just really briefly
yeah?
on the Switch, and
Where are you at with that? I kind of hit a super hard wall where I couldn't figure it out.
I'm like halfway through World 3.
Okay, I think we're about in the same spot.
Yeah, we might even be at the exact same spot because I also hit a wall. That game, we've said it before and we say it again, it has maybe the highest highs and lowest lows of making you feel like a complete idiot, and then you feel like a brain genius the next 5 minutes later. God,
yeah,
fuck that
it's
game.
it's been a lot of back and forth, like level to level. Even it's just it's definitely a game like you. I've now taken maybe like a month break from it, and now I'm ready to go back in and maybe make some progress again.
Totally, it's one of those games you can definitely walk away from and come back and just like look at it differently.
Yeah, exactly, and nail it. So I've done that a couple of times already with that game. So that's a good one.
I keep thinking about grabbing that on Switch for
good.
upcoming travel.
Yeah,
But I feel like Switch games are stacking up.
Oh,
They
yeah.
really
As
are.
it is. Like I was already saving SteamWorld Quest for E3.
Yeah.
too.
But then now there's like a rumor going around that Cadence of Hyrule is going to be out before we leave. So, sorry, Baba.
That could be good.
Baba is later.
You should make time for Baba's, though, at some
definitely,
point.
definitely will check that out in some capacity.
Yeah.
I feel like I spent a lot of time this weekend trying to get into a game and failing.
Like any game?
Yeah, like I was just bouncing between.
You're playing Dauntless too?
Yeah, no.
I was going to ask how that was going.
No, like,
Much better.
I was like, I'm gonna go and play some Division 2. It's been a while. Like Rory's been talking it up how much he enjoyed it, and he's approaching the end game. And I was like, well, maybe if I switch to PC, maybe I'd feel better about it. So I jumped in and I was like level 3 on PC, and I'm like level 18 or I didn't even hit the level cap on PS4, but it was like I ran like one mission and I was just like, no, I just can't.
Those missions are so long.
I don't want to replay it. Like I don't even want. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll play it on PS4 where I'm further ahead and load that up. And I'm like, no, just don't want to do this right now. Did the same thing with Rage 2, loaded it up, like took over a couple of locations. I was like, okay, now I'm ready for a story mission. I'm like, actually, I'm just going to turn this off.
You're in a rut, Jeff.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Loaded up Mortal Kombat 11 on PC to check out the patch. So they patched in all that 60 frames per second stuff that people had modded before.
NetherRealm did?
Well, whoever did the PC version.
But
yes,
it's an official.
It is part of the.
Interesting. Okay.
So
like the fatalities there,
right.
60
Yes.
frames.
So now
that's
all
an official option because the word
fatal
going
blows and
around
stuff. Yeah.
The word going around was that's just like a big performance hit. So
I'm
some
sure.
some people's systems might not be able to run those as
So
60.
what they did is they're like, hey, if you turn this on, we're also turning on auto frame skip.
Interesting. Okay.
Because I think also they probably have to like keep some online stuff synced up for fights or something.
Yeah.
But
and like
I'm not sure.
They're using like higher detailed models for those.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So
and then also, so there's like two separate options. There's one for the in-game in-fight stuff. I think it's the in-game fight stuff and menus. So menus now run at 60.
Yeah, that's a weird one. The menus, I don't know why.
And then there's a separate one for the crypt.
Okay.
And
Wait, the crypt was capped at 30 on PC?
Yeah. And even like honestly, like I loaded it up and ran around in there, and like the performance was fairly uneven with it, like uncapped.
Really?
Yeah. And I don't think the crypt looks that great.
Yeah, it's all right.
It does look nice.
amazing.
There's some good long draw distances here and there, but
Yeah.
so just it strikes me as like, okay, we'll uncap it, but we didn't optimize it for this at all.
Yeah.
So which is why we locked it at 30 in the first place. So fucking have at it, I
Like
guess.
crypt and menus, I can kind of see the complaint, but I think the stuff in match looks kind of cool
I think it looks.
at the lower frame.
Oh, really? I think it looks awesome at
Like
60, but that's.
I mean, I'm sure it's fine. But,
yeah.
Or I guess I have no problem with it running.
Sure.
Like it's got kind
Yeah,
of
it never stuck out as like a weird, like, well, why is this 30
like it's
to
kind of a
me?
cool contrast from the smooth fighting to like go to this like more cinematic looking thing.
So I think I don't know that it hits me as cinematic. It hits me as like, why is this running weird?
Yeah.
And that's Dragon Ball Fighters did the same thing of like all their intros being, closer to anime
like
frame
that.
rate. I hate it, man.
Because it was like an anime.
But
Let
it
me tell
doesn't
you about the
like
anime.
to me that just doesn't read as an anime. It reads as a performance thing. Like it doesn't.
Really?
It doesn't. It doesn't make it look more like an anime. It just looks choppy at that point compared to because then it pops into the smooth fighting and you're like, there's that shit.
I mean, that's a very Dragon Ball thing, like
Looking like shit.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, kind of in some spots for sure, but yeah, like it doesn't. That never strikes me as more cinematic or as like this is a really strong thematic choice. It just feels like they went for this, but it just makes it look worse to me. So I don't know that never flies for me. Yeah, I don't know. So I played a little bit of that and just checked it out. I was like, yep, that looks nicer. All right, moving on. And then I found myself just dream surfing in dreams for a
cool.
while. They have an auto surf thing that'll just like take you through random things one after the other. But it's weird. So like more and more people are making things that are multiple levels stitched together. So it'll be like the intro and menus are one dream. Then you hit start game and it loads up another one.
Oh, does it have official support for that?
Yeah. So
Like you
I
can
think,
chain them
I think
together?
it will chain together.
That's cool.
But then when you're doing this auto surf thing,
Oh, sure, you can
sometimes
come in
it'll
right
just
in the
present you
middle.
with the menu. You'll hit go, and then it'll just load up the next random thing.
Oh yeah.
And so you'll go from like, and sometimes it's kind of neat because you'll go from like level 2 of this fucking bad Crash Bandicoot remake to the start menu of some survival horror thing. You hit X on that, it takes you into some light cycle top down pixel art thing.
That's how dreams work.
Yeah,
man.
like it's really fucked up. But like you end up with like
It's not called lucid dreams.
yeah, but when you end up like 3 things in it, like not necessarily in a row, but like if you play 6 dreams and 3 of them are recreations of the PS1 boot up animation made and remixed by
Okay.
different people.
Okay.
At some point you're like, come on.
I don't know. That sounds pretty good to me.
It gets to be a lot over
Yeah,
time,
sure.
is all I'm saying. Like
Sure.
at first you're like, this is tremendous, and then at some point it just kind of stretches out and doesn't feel like a great experience anymore. So I don't know. There's some really cool shit being made though. There's some really
impressive.
there's some more elaborate
Yeah.
stuff being made. Cool would imply that like, hey, this fan-made bad 3D Sonic the Hedgehog game is somehow
good.
actually worse than the official 3D Sonic the Hedgehog games.
Yeah.
But
That's
it's
an
neat to see
accomplishment.
that people made it. I mean, it's like, hey, that's the music from Sonic the Hedgehog that you're playing there.
I've got to the point where I'm like bookmarking tweets I see now of cool shit on there
Yeah.
with the intent of going back later and looking at that stuff.
I saw a really
there's
cool
some-
Star Wars one, actually.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
there's-
looked
there's
like
a
a
lot
really cool
of-
X-wing.
I saw. I haven't gone and looked at the actual material, and I didn't look at I didn't follow up on the identity of the person who was tweeting this, but from the context, it sounded like they were like an actual working concept artist, saying that they are basically using dreams as a concepting tool now. Like they posted some screenshots of like some fucking amazing looking like 3D paintings they had done in the game.
I mean, we saw how fast when they came by
Yeah.
that he just like
Yeah.
whipped out a brand new animal.
Right.
That like if you're an experienced visual designer, like there's no rendering.
Yeah, this was
there's-
some like borderline like fine art looking stuff, like
yeah,
really
wow, that's
professional.
cool.
Like I want to get in there and see. I mean, it's just like static images. There's not much to do with it other than like
Right, yeah.
load it up and look at it, but it's still pretty.
Yeah,
cool.
like there was a really good just like, okay, I'm Freddie Mercury running around. Every button I hit, he strikes a different pose, and
Okay.
there's a piano you can sit down at, and
Okay.
then that was pretty much the whole thing.
Okay,
Um,
that thing's cool.
yeah, it is really cool. So it was fun to kind of dip back into that. Like that's, but like now I feel like I need to wait a while
Yeah.
because I feel like I saw, or at least the stuff that's like highly ranked or whatever. I'm sure if you dig deep, you'll find way more. But maybe it's not necessarily structured to surface that stuff as well as maybe I wish it was. But I don't know.
They'll get there.
Yeah.
Over time.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it? Just bouncing around.
Yeah, totally.
That's usually me all the time. Is playing a game for 20 minutes and getting bored of it, turning it off.
Yeah.
But I somehow remembered Saturday morning that Mortal Kombat exists
Mm-hmm.
and sat down and started playing it for the first time in like 3 weeks.
Have you gone through the story?
And oh yeah, like
Completely?
the
Good.
first weekend it was out, I finished that stuff. But then I had to leave town and just put it down.
Mhm.
Anyway, I proceeded to play MK11 all weekend.
Nice.
Like, I don't know what happened, but it just got under my skin.
Yeah.
In a way.
Doing
Well, it's great.
towers?
Like, yeah,
or
what
playing
do you
Yeah,
online
so like
or-
remember I mentioned like back when it first came out that like I think the tutorial is incredibly thorough, but also just kind of overwhelming. Like it just sort of throws a lot at you.
Right.
I had the incredible revelation over the weekend that if you just pick a character and play for a while, you kind of get your head around the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did that.
Yeah.
I did a couple of character tutorials. And
Who's
then
your main?
So I randomly started with Raiden on Saturday because the daily that day was like, hey, win 3 rounds with Raiden or 3
Okay.
matches. So I started playing Raiden and like started doing all
Start
right.
picking up
with it.
strings and stuff, and yeah.
But okay, who's deep into this game? Like,
I don't know that I don't know the name of it. Like,
is anybody deep enough in?
Watching
Like,
a-
yeah.
Is it-
Define deep.
Are you
I
are you
guess.
deep enough in for me to say, hey, I think Raiden is one of the slower characters that's probably weak against people that can
Sure.
whip? Is that accurate? Because
I've
that
heard
sure
that.
is how it
I've
feels
heard
to
Yeah.
me.
Raiden is not great.
Raiden, the range on his attacks don't seem like his normals anyway. Don't seem
Wait,
great.
are you saying I'm playing like a C tier character? Is that what's happening here?
Perhaps I
Brad, you
didn't-
need to play Garrus. You need to play Aaron Black.
Wait, is that legit?
Scorpion?
Are those legit the rankings right now?
Kind of.
Sub Zero.
Okay,
Those are the
Huh.
4 characters I see people complaining the most about.
okay.
But
I was sorry. I was just picking characters that I had a lot of hats for. So.
Yeah, hell yeah.
No, somebody chose Raiden over the weekend. Combo Breaker.
Oh, that's right. Combo. Man, I should have watched some of that.
Yeah, it was really good. But they chose Raiden as like a counter pick to a zoning character.
Okay.
So like somebody was playing Scarlet, but Raiden has a teleport. Raiden has his own super fast projectiles. So he's viable in certain situations.
Yeah.
And I assume they're enforcing the what do they call like the preset variations at tournaments like that, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Combo Breaker's great.
Yeah, it was really good. I watched Mortal Kombat so far, Tekken.
There's a really good Under Night tournament.
Oh, really?
Mm.
I got to catch up on like the mystery game tournament, but
Yeah, that was fun.
But yeah, there was some spectacular stuff. I really enjoy watching Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
Top
I'm going to
level.
check out some of the pro stuff next time.
It's-
Like, is Evo the next one, or is there CEO before that?
Yeah.
God, I can't believe I'm going to watch a fighting game tournament.
That's how it happens.
I guess.
Get excited for all the gamer chair ads you're gonna see.
Ooh.
10% off.
I saw a clip of Ed Boon in the front row at Combo Breaker,
He
and
was
at
just tweeting.
the end of the clip, well, the announcer was just like, "Hey, Ed Boon, give it up, everybody!" And like people are clapping, and then at the end of this clip, somebody let out a very convincing Mortal Kombat shout, like from the song. Like really, I don't know if they've been practicing or what, but it was like surprisingly accurate.
Nice.
I thought you were going to say someone shouted out, unionized game development, or something like that.
If they had done that in that voice, though,
Yeah.
it would have been very powerful moment. Has anybody played Towers recently?
Yeah.
Like,
I
did they
played
up
a ton
the-
of those. Yeah.
Did they up the rewards? Because this is I didn't touch Towers
Yeah,
of Time
maybe.
until this weekend.
It varies anywhere from like 5 to 6 rewards. Sometimes you get a brutality in there. Sometimes not.
I just coins in particular. I feel like I'm coming out. I came out of
Oh yeah, they're
first time I spent time in there with like 200,000 coins or something. It was crazy. I was like,
I'm frequently like 1.5 million coins. Yeah.
so I don't know if they upped that stuff because people were complaining so much about the unlocks.
That was I think one of their goals was to raise the rewards on some of the towers, but it still feels like souls end up being that middle currency,
green
ends up
one.
being the hard one.
There's a thing in the crypt right now that I need 10,000 souls for, and I have
Yeah.
like 6, and I'm just like, man, I don't know.
yeah.
Like some weird part of me wants to get everything in the crypt now, but that
You should
seems
play the PC
insane. That seems insane. Yeah,
also,
people
like,
broke that stuff open, right?
Yeah, totally. There are people. There's some tool that people are downloading to unlock, like the Johnny Cage announcer, and
Oh, wow.
and
Shit.
I think Raiden's the other one.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Huh.
That stuff was when people started pulling apart the Switch version. They saw the existence of that stuff, but now people are like finding ways to turn it on.
I think I want to say they said they're announcing their DLC character schedule this week.
Yeah,
something
or
like
they're
that.
gonna say who the characters are and
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah,
I
I
wonder if
I
they'll
assume
be the
that'll just match up
robots
with
that
yeah.
leak.
Yeah, I forget even what the leak was. Like Joker,
Terminator, Joker.
yeah, Shang Tsung.
Don't spoil it for me.
Oh wait, that's for this one.
Yeah,
Hmm.
like the first 6 characters are.
I was kind of hoping they would just go pure like classic MK characters on this one.
Well, who do you want? Who's missing?
Shang Tsung is a good one.
Baraicho.
I said classic here.
Yeah.
I don't know, like maybe
Sector Cyrax.
Reptile,
Yeah.
at least one of the cyborg
Reptile.
ninjas.
Rain.
I mean, you fight Sector in the story mode. Like there's work already done.
Yeah.
On that
Oh
character.
yeah, I'm sure they'll be released.
Reptile maybe. Okay, there's got to be somebody
Maybe
else.
some people from War Gods.
Fucking Goro. Why not Goro?
They're not going
Maybe.
to put anyone.
Yeah,
from,
sure,
they're not
maybe.
going to put anyone from War.
Why?
Like Gore's
They
dead.
have the IP, right?
But it's time travel.
They do. That's fair. I mean, Stryker. You could put in there.
Yeah.
Someone who
Who's that
matters.
other god in 10?
Fujin.
Fujin.
Oh, yeah.
Is he?
God, playing Raiden a bunch. One of the pre-fight intros addresses the fate of Fujin, and I'm trying to remember. It might be Frost. You go up against somebody as Raiden complaining about how that other person killed Fujin.
Mm.
Basically. I forget who it is, but
So is Fujin a revenant then?
this implied
If-
he had
if
just been
Fujin
dealt
shows
with.
up again. Yeah.
Maybe. I like that game quite a bit.
Fujin was one of the few characters in 4 that seemed like okay.
Hmm.
So I don't know.
I tried to do some Liu Kang. Anybody play?
Yeah.
I could probably sit here for 30 minutes talking about characters I tried, but like I don't know if that's interesting or not.
I
But
know you hit 444 with him an awful lot.
I
Kick.
I can never remember the numbers, which numbers map
It'd be
to
like
1, 2,
circle.
that's
3,
circle.
4, yeah.
Okay. He's got combos that I could barely get out. Like you have to hit them so fast.
Yeah.
He's got one it's like triangle, square, and moving my thumb normally between those buttons, I could not get the combo to come out. You have to like put your thumb right between the buttons and just roll it back and forth.
Oh,
Like,
sure.
some of the inputs are just weirdly demanding in that.
Yeah, I
But-
feel like their windows were pretty loose. Don't get an arcade stick.
Tap, 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 tap. It's
Most-
so
all
easy.
the best
It's
players
so
play on a
easy.
pad.
Most of them are, but I found like forum threads about this combo in particular from people saying like, I can't get this to come out. What the hell? It's a weird one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, we should play some MK11.
I would
Yeah, we
love
should
to.
do another
Yeah,
stream.
I
That
would
was
totally
fun.
play
Yeah,
some.
totally. Yeah,
Now that I am competent with a few characters, I would totally.
I would love to
Cool.
play some more of that.
Yeah.
That's
I
exciting.
started playing a little bit more Cabal, trying to figure
Okay.
out some fun Cabal stuff. He's
Yeah.
got some goofy shit.
I like constantly have to hold block against that guy because I'm so
Yep.
afraid of the.
That's how it was in 3.
Yep.
It was always like you had to respect that fucking move
Mm-hmm.
because it would get you.
I think I'm surprised he has such a place of prominence in this game because I always felt like he was like kind of shit on as a character. I feel like Cabal did not get a lot of respect.
Like
He's very much like-
wise, yeah, but in 3, like
He was my main in 3. He was the guy
a
I
powerful
played.
dude.
Yeah.
He's like the big underling, right? He's like he's hot shit amongst his peers, but in the grand scheme of like the
well,
Mortal
yeah, he's
Kombat
like
hierarchy.
Kano's friend.
Yeah.
you
he's
know?
such
yeah.
a like I don't like he used to be a criminal, but then he's a cop in 9. Like
Yeah,
what the hell?
The reboot, they made him a cop at some point,
Yeah,
and yeah, the Cabal
Whatever.
lore is murky.
it's
Who has more clout in the MK universe, Cabal or Baraka?
Like currently, Baraka is the leader of
Yeah.
a people. Cabal is just a dude.
Yeah, I
guess
guess.
so. Yeah. Also, Cabal didn't even get unzombified, so zero respect for that guy. Last thing I'll say is I love running around the crypt, and I spent a ton of time this weekend doing it, but I feel like the progression, like the flow of that thing and solving the puzzles to unlock new areas and stuff is maybe a little more arcane than it should be.
Yeah. Plus, just the idea of, hey, you can relock these chests to get more
That
shit
stuff
out of
is
them
confusing.
prevents it from feeling like a checklist of I've
Yeah.
unlocked everything,
Yeah.
because it's like it's always going to give you more dumb consumables.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whereas you're like, no, I want to get the stuff. Like,
Do you know what it's repopulating the chest with? Because I thought
well, so it's
It's relocking them and just kind of re-randomizing.
so if you haven't
the
unlocked every
location,
single
right.
meaningful thing, it might put some of those into those chests,
Huh.
but
I guess what
after a certain point, like there's diminishing returns on that. So
Right.
eventually it's just going to be like, here's more fucking dumb
Consumables.
augments and consumables and all this other stuff that you barely.
I mean, I guess what I'm asking is like, why wouldn't you just keep opening chests you haven't already opened? Like, wouldn't you just get everything if you kept opening the chests that are there?
I don't think I bet.
Or is there
I bet
more-
you don't get it. I bet
is there
there's
more
more
than fits in?
there is than
Jeez.
fits in the chest. If
Wow.
I had to guess,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, that makes sense. Why else would they put that in there?
That's a lot.
right.
The one use
That's
I've seen
what
for
I
that
would
is
do.
I looked up. There's one chest that is guaranteed to drop a skeleton key, which you need a ton of to open
Mhm.
lock doors all over the island. So you can keep locking that chest and reopening it to get more
Oh,
skeleton keys out of it.
interesting. Yeah, those are a pain in the ass.
Um,
Those are the skeleton key stuff's a pain in the ass.
But it's just a ton of like, I mean, like I found the reptile statue, and now I'm supposed to find him around the island. But there's like a dozen places he can spawn,
Shit.
and you have to have the
And you can
blindfold
blend
on to
in.
see him.
Yeah.
But I need the blindfold currency for other stuff, so I
Uh-huh.
can't just afford to run around with the blindfold on everywhere. Like, I don't know, just items in my inventory. I don't know where they came from or what to do with them. Like, it's just a little too hard to figure out like what to do in the crypt.
I'm not crazy about the crypt.
It looks super,
Conceptually, it's awesome.
like
I think
the atmosphere
yeah.
and the nostalgia of it are fantastic, but like
Sure.
the flow of it is a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, Mortal Kombat 11, a game of contrasts.
Yes.
Anyway, how's Dauntless going?
Dauntless is going much, much better. It had a rough start to begin with. And to be fair, they had a lot of people trying to get into that game. Like it start like 4 million, and it
They
kept
said
getting
6 this morning.
Yeah,
Wow.
6 is
Jeez.
yeah, as of today. That's a lot of people trying to get into this little game. So Dauntless is this free to play cross-platform like Monster Hunter Lite, essentially.
Does this qualify as Monster Hunter Minute?
Yeah, sure.
I think we can take more than
Yeah,
that
thank you.
on this.
It's the Dauntless decade. Go. Settle
Oh,
in.
Jesus.
But it's completely cross-platform. So PS4,
Yeah.
Xbox, and PC all seem to work together,
That's-
which is pretty crazy.
I still haven't
and kinda
seen
cool.
those screenshots you guys were talking about, but yeah, like it just slaps platform icons on
Yeah,
everybody.
it
when
does.
you play it and
Anybody
cross-plat.
who's running around. So if you're on the PC version, you'll see a little PlayStation icon next to somebody's name or an Xbox one. It's
Is
pretty
this first game to do it at launch?
neat. Yes.
Because before it was like Fortnite, Rocket
Like
Rocket
had the-
Arena.
like
Rocket League.
Oh,
Rocket
I'm
League
sorry, Rocket
had
Rocket
the
League.
ability, later on.
Right, but I can't think of
at
any games that
launch,
have launched with PS4 and Xbox together.
I think this is the first one.
That's cool.
To do that sort of thing. But this is definitely, it's got its free to play trappings in there, but for the most part, it is a Monster Hunter Lite. It's very refreshing in the sense that it's kind of a stripped down version. Like you just get the loop pretty much. Like you go into a hub world, you choose which monster you're going to go fight, you go kill it, take its parts, make something out of it.
Do you track the monster, or is it just like here you're
Very
in the
little
arena,
of
fight
that.
it, go?
So it's kind of an arena in that all the lands. It's called the Shattered Isles. So each like instance that you go into is like a piece of an island. So it's kind of like a big arena essentially. Yeah. So you're not really searching for the monster too much. They're not going to like different areas. Well,
Okay.
They do kind of go to different areas, but it's in a much smaller spot. Okay. But it's a completely streamlined experience. And as such, like I felt that I was getting a little too light in the beginning, but after a while it did open up, and I've only scratched the surface as far as like which monsters are available. Like at first there were like 5, and I'm like, they're already introducing variants. I'm not sure how long this is going to last, but now I'm seeing much, much more. And all the monsters have been like incredibly well designed. There's really cool, like a beaver monster. There's an Embermane, which it's like this lizard type dude, but also like a cat that has like a fiery mane. It's really cool. They've been doing a really good job of making the armor look like what you're like making it out of. It's been fun. Like the weapons, there's only a handful of different types of weapons, but they're pretty straightforward. And I'd used the sword at first, and that was just like completely mashy. There's not a lot of nuance to it. But
perfect.
Yeah. But
yeah, because like weapon depth is like the thing in Monster Hunter.
Yeah, so they do have a lot of that in some of the other weapons.
Is there anything like the charge blade there that's just like super technical?
Yeah, kind of like the hammer is actually surprisingly nuanced. Like you've got bullets type things that you can put in the hammer, and that'll give it a charge. So if you're swinging, you can hit another button right before it lands, and then disperse that bullet, and it blows up.
Hang on, are you telling me that instead of a gun blade, they've gone and made a gun hammer?
Kind of.
All right. Okay.
And you can use that to like launch up in the air and come down. There's a lot of cool shit going on with the weapons. I'm finding myself like using different types all the time. Like I don't have like one main. Like I've got a earth type for this specific monster in particular. But servers have settled down for the most parts. Wait times are still out there, I guess, as far as like getting into the queue and whatnot. But I'm having a good time. The free to play stuff is mostly cosmetic. For the most part, there are certain things that you can get, like cells, which augment your weapons, that you don't like pay for outright. But if you get like a battle pass type thing, you can get cores, which you can then turn into cells. Anyway,
they call it a battle pass.
They straight up call it a battle pass. But other than that, like it's not too, I don't know,
pretty friendly.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
I want to check that out.
Yeah, give it a shot for
sure. You think it'll scratch the itch up until what is it, Iceborne? Is that the name of it?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's definitely scratching that itch. Like I've tried to hop back into Monster Hunter World a couple times recently, and just wasn't able to stick with it. But no, I've probably got about 15-20 hours into this, and still going strong.
How does like the matchmaking and stuff compare to Monster Hunter? Is it
so
like as instance based?
It's all instance based,
okay.
Yeah, and everybody gets kind of siloed into a queue. You don't know who exactly you're going to go in with, but you can go in with up to 4 people. So basically, you can go on patrols, which it'll set you into like a type, like a elemental type. So you want to go on like a fire patrol or something like that.
Okay.
So you'll only fight fire monsters on that patrol. Or you can choose the monster individually.
Sure.
So you're not.
So you're specking. You can spec ahead of time.
Exactly.
And
Yeah, and even pre-match you can do that as well. So that's very streamlined, and it's very friendly.
Cool.
It's not like you have to go to a specific map and just kind of wander around hoping that this particular monster will show
That's
up or
good.
something like that.
I like that.
So you can hunt directly. It's cool. It's really neat for a free to play game. I wasn't expecting too much out of it. But
Is there any kind of social hub where you can show your shit off?
yeah, totally. There's a big social hub. I'm not sure how many people are, allowed in there, but
Right.
it's
But
not-
does it
it's
pull
not
people
too
in
many.
randomly?
Yeah.
Like you don't have to match with your friends to go.
No,
No gathering hub.
no, and matchmaking's been pretty great actually. When it is working, it's pulling in a ton of people. It's kind of cool to see, like a PlayStation icon and an Xbox icon,
Yeah.
like all kind of playing together. That's been neat,
It's a glorious communal future.
right?
Cool.
Yeah, good stuff.
Anybody got anything else? Jan, you got any?
I've been playing a little game called Avaria Versus.
Oh yeah,
Or Avaria VS. I guess it's Versus.
I think so.
Yeah.
It took me a good half a dozen times to be able to remember that name. It just looks weird.
It is definitely an interesting game. So it's a turn-based combat game. You get 3 characters in your party set in like a kind of like cyberpunk-ish universe. And instead of embarking on a campaign, it is a 3v3 esports-esque combat type deal.
It's like JRPG combat, right?
basically.
Like it's basically
Turn-based,
competitive Final Fantasy.
and
from
what if
what
I
I've
told
seen.
you, Brad? What if I told you that was just Pokemon this whole time?
Okay, sure.
And it's been pretty fun. It's been interesting. So you in your party of 3, you can choose between 4 different classes, and in those 4 classes, you have like 4 or 5 different characters, different spells and abilities, and it's all this normal archetypes of like this one's a healer, this one's a mage, a berserker, and then you have like this robot class, which is basically a big flying Roomba type deal, which is like the tank of your party. I think the only bummer that I've run into so far is that the onboarding process of learning the mechanics, it's all kind of relegated to like, check out this fact that we made. And it doesn't really run you through a proper tutorial or whatever. But I mean, it worked with like Mord How of like kind of skimming through that. But I've come across the same couple people when I've been trying to look for a match that like and their ranking is always like much higher than I am.
Yeah.
And they'll be using, I've been running into the same party mix over and over again. So I guess like balancing is probably going to be a thing they have to work on. And I just wound up in a match where me and the other player had the same exact party, and it just wound up boiling down to who would run out of HP or who would be poisoned longer than the other and who wouldn't heal. And it's got an interesting mechanic of with each successful hit or heal on a party member, you are gaining XP in that match. So you can choose to level up a ability. And once you level up an ability, I believe 3 times, you can put into overdrive. And then you get this weird mini game that kind of breaks up like the pacing of it. And that just extends an ability. Like you'll heal all of your members or you'll heal or hurt the opposing team all the way. Matchmaking's been fast, but it's always just been the same person that I've run into.
Maybe kind of a
What are you playing it on?
small community so far.
Steam. It's only on Steam so far. It's neat. I definitely see the possibilities of like it kind of not maybe gaining like esports roots or whatever, but like they definitely have a plan for it.
It's a cool idea. Like when you say it out loud, it's like, oh, it's just JRPG combat, but competitive.
Yeah.
Like, that is kind of neat. Is it real time? Like
Real time, yeah.
we're talking like active time battle.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then you can all the turns are doled by like whichever character's faster and whatnot.
What was the name of it?
Avaria Versus.
It's all one word.
All one word. Yeah.
Avaria VS.
Yes.
Versus. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. I've also fallen into another deep hole of
That's what you tweeted out.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
The Pokemon hole just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Mm.
I keep
I
falling
don't
deeper and deeper.
know.
And
I thought
it's
Detective
appropriate
Pikachu.
material
I
for
didn't
this
see many
podcast.
Pokemon holes.
The trading card game, I finally fallen into it.
Oh boy.
I just okay. I was walking by Target. I was just getting my normal stuff, and I saw some booster packs near the checkout aisle, and I was like, "Wow,
Those have been there forever, Jan.
I know. I just never looked at them before. All right?
Wait, this is not even a new game?
No.
No, but like Pokemon cards by the checkout at a Target, it goes back to as far as I can remember
Yeah.
Pokemon cards.
They rearranged the Target that I go to. Okay, so then now I'm suddenly in view of them, and then I was like, "Oh wow, that Charizard looks super cool. What's that behind that Charizard? Oh, it's a Reshiram." And then I bought 2 packs, and then like, yo, they got 2 Pokemon on cards now.
What?
Tag team.
That's
Unbroken bonds, baby.
That seems illegal.
Well, if you play it, it's a huge risk because then you give up some prize cards, man. You don't want to give up too many prize
Oh
cards.
yeah, you're gonna be giving up 2 prize cards.
Yeah, 3.
3.
Yeah, 3 if you use a tag team.
It's good to see Pokemon trading cards, putting a focus on tag teams.
Exactly,
just 10 seconds.
Yeah.
They're like changing up the rules. I think it's
Yeah.
pretty
Basically,
exciting
buy
stuff.
one Pokemon, get one Pokemon free.
You would hope that they'd have the other team go over, but it doesn't go like that sometimes.
They're not,
Wait a
they're
second.
not
Are you
putting
guys talking
Pokemon-
about wrestling?
They're not putting Pokemon
Maybe.
on TV until like October, so they can hang on to the belts for a while.
I guess.
Brad,
Are there belts?
Brad, they're talking about wrestling.
They're belts again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
Finally, they're belts.
I didn't realize that each booster pack or now deck comes with a code to redeem online cards because they have an online app now.
That's pretty cool.
I know there was like an official one.
Yeah. PC, it's up on iPads too. So just been plugging away at that on the side. It's been occupying my time. I fucking got so close to buying a whole booster
Oh, jeez.
box.
I mean, if you want to start buying physical goods that come with digital items, might I recommend Gears of War Funko Pops that are apparently now coming with codes for use in that
Oh, man.
Gears Pop game.
I hope
Wait,
it's not in the same
did
section
that come
as
out?
Target.
No, not
Not
here. I heard over the weekend
is it
that
like
they
soft
are
launch?
Yeah, they're soft launched in Australia.
Congratulations, New Zealand.
Which but they
Yeah,
just put out a new
congratulations.
they just put out a new wave of the fucking Funko Pops
Oh,
here that are now coming with the codes. So you got to figure
boy.
that.
We're
game-
gonna need to get
that
some of
game
those
is
in the
coming in pretty
office for the
soon.
codes for the quick
Yeah.
look of Gears Funko.
Is that
you know
that's a
it.
mobile game, right?
It's a mobile game. Yeah.
Okay.
Aw.
The word I got was that it is basically Clash Royale. So
Huh.
have fun with that.
Okay.
Clash
Okay.
Royale editor.
I saw they had a Clash Royale card game also.
Yeah, I bet they
Makes
did.
sense.
Of course
Yeah.
they do.
I have a problem with Funko Pops other than Funko Pops. But
Sure. Yeah.
I've been noticing a lot of them more lately
Mhm.
don't have that look of like a flat face. Like
Or
they've
they're
been, they just
finally
look like
changing it up a little bit.
kinda. They look like they're actual source material now, which is weirding me out.
Bold.
Yeah,
Except they still have the soulless eyes.
yeah. Can't get rid of those eyes.
Yeah. That's core to the experience of collecting soulless figures.
It's so when you look into it, you don't see anything back.
Right. Yeah. Because if
Just
you
stare
did,
into
you
the
might fall in
abyss
love.
Yeah, so they say that Funko Pop is the window to the soul.
Yeah,
Right.
they're all different sizes now too. I don't know.
They've got huge ones. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be a lot more shelf space to fill in GameStop in the near future. So
Oh my god!
Is
I was
there?
also
Gonna
Are there gonna be shelves?
Yeah. Because
broaden
it'll
the
turn into
product
a party
line.
store.
I was also at a Barnes and Noble over the weekend, and I was just browsing through their movie section, and then behind me was a whole like display, like maybe 5-6 shelves of Funko Pops.
Yep.
And they were all gathering dust. It made me so sad.
I went to an arcade and the ticket zone was like half Funko Pops.
Oh, jeez.
Oh man.
They're everywhere.
You know, no more
Hearing
sticky
that they're
hands?
collecting dust though does my heart a little bit good. maybe there's an end in sight someday to this Funko menace.
don't get your hopes up.
Yeah. No.
All right. All right. Break.
Break.
Mhm.
Break.
Yeah.
Break.
Break. Hey, support for today's show is coming to you in part from new Starbucks Triple Shot Energy.
Triple?
Triple.
3?
3.
That triple.
The tray.
Huh.
That's right.
3 in 1.
Yes, it is literally 3 a triple shot in one can.
Is that legal?
Oh, it's better than legal.
Oh. What's
It's-
better than legal?
It's incredibly legal
Mm.
and incredibly terrific. Starbucks Triple Shot Energy has 225 milligrams of caffeine.
What? How much? Say that sounds like an illegal number.
It is not. I assure you, it is just 225 milligrams of caffeine from Starbucks coffee, a hint of flavor, and it's enhanced with guarana, B vitamins, and ginseng to give you the energy to do what matters to you.
Give you that pep,
Yeah.
that zing.
little zip,
Yeah.
little zingo. You know what I mean?
Make your eyes just fly wide open.
That's right. Get ready to seize the day or the night. And it's
Or
available.
both.
Yeah, or both at the same time. Why not?
How about several of each in a
Yes.
row?
No, well, that's not. Look,
Oh,
it's
okay.
it's a triple shot energy.
Okay, we did say legal.
Yes. It's available in 3 delicious flavors, including French vanilla, cafe mocha, and caramel. Yeah.
Caramel's good.
Yeah. And you know, look, sometimes you get through most of the day, and you're a little drooping, you're a little falling a little flat.
You hit that siesta time.
Exactly.
Want a nap.
You hit that wall. Break the walls down, as they say.
Okay. Right through there.
Yeah, bust through a little triple shot energy. Yeah, from Starbucks. You can find it at your local grocery or convenience store. How about that?
I think there's one of those right across the street.
Exactly.
Ben, I understand you have brought the hottest news straight from the internet.
Yeah, that's right. Twitch.tv is apparently this website you can stream video games on.
Is that like Justin TV or?
It's like giantbomb.com.
Yeah, but without
chat.
the backpack.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is how new this is or anything.
So
but
I saw a kind of pre-recorded like 15-second thing similar to that going around a day or two ago.
yeah,
But the thing you're looking at is new.
this is they're doing a Death Stranding stream right now. I mean Sony on the official PlayStation Twitch channel.
There's shiny hands on here.
And I guess like Kojima had talked about cutting a trailer like last week on Twitter, and to where you're like, oh well, wait, there's not going to be an E3 trailer unless they're gonna
He's going to show
drop
up.
shit.
He loves E3 trailers
Yeah,
so
he
much.
does.
He's just going to show up at E3.
He's going to show up
And
fucking
with
his
a
phone,
laptop,
just holding it, like, here, check this
just
out,
walking
check this
around
out,
the
check this out.
floor.
And you guess what song he's gonna have on there?
Imagine Dragons.
Oh, I mean
Crazy
yeah.
Frog.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
That's just, it's different now. You're just carrying around Crazy Frog. He's the baby that's inside of
yeah.
the mouth. Hey, what do you guys think Death Stranding is ever going to come out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure, it
Let's
will.
say late next year,
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
I'd buy that.
alongside a new video game console,
I'm not
I'd buy
sure if
that.
I'd buy it.
or maybe not.
We'll see.
Maybe not right alongside, but let's say in the launch window.
I
I don't know.
I-
Pure,
I
pure
don't-
speculation.
I don't even know what to make about that stuff. Like the cross-gen conversation about what's going to be where,
Yeah.
I think has never been more ambiguous
Yeah.
than it is this time out.
Yeah.
But
I mean, well, whatever. Not to get off in
yeah,
new console speculation land, but maybe they put out games that run on the PS4
Right.
and 5 via backwards compatibility, but they look better, so they just brand them as PlayStation games. It's like, hey, you can play it if you own either one.
Yeah.
I don't know. What a mess.
or they do like the Assassin's Creed upgrade path
Yeah.
stuff of like
Put this PS4 Death Stranding disc in your
and then
PS5
buy the
and
HD
pay
pack.
$10 and get the 4K version. I don't
I
know.
don't, yeah.
Well, whatever. That's like a year and a half away.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Who knows if we'll even be here by then? Let's hope so. But
Like,
for
in this
now,
room?
or here.
Oh, okay. In San Francisco.
Anyway,
Yeah.
let's talk about the news of the now. Not the news of
Tomorrow's
next year.
news today.
Yeah.
Today's news today.
Actually, this is more like
Yeah,
the
like
news of
last
next.
week's
This is like
yeah,
the news of
news.
next February.
Today.
I don't know. Whatever. Let's get the important announcement out of the way first.
What you got?
The director of the Sonic the Hedgehog film
Mhm.
issued a tweet
Whoa.
No way.
on Twitter.com.
Sonic the Hedgehog movie tweet of the week.
That's right.
Tweet of the week.
Saying, taking a little more time to make Sonic just right. Hashtag no VFX artists were harmed in the making of this movie.
It's too long of a
Good.
hashtag. How's that going to get trending?
It doesn't even fit in the tweet. It wraps around. Good job, Jeff Fowler. And an image of Sonic's hand holding a sign that says 2/14/20.
With gloves.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
happy Valentine's Day, Sonic.
Oh.
When was that? The thing was originally November?
Yes.
Yeah.
right?
So I think if it's coming out Valentine's Day, he's definitely gonna have sex with a human lady.
Okay.
In a space station.
Just like he did in 2006.
I don't think anyone was asking for that.
I never
if you
thought
want
I
to make the
wanted it,
movie
but-
right, it includes that.
Here's our redesign of Sonic. We put gloves on him, and he's got a dick now. Like, that's really the only change we had to make.
That's
to
all
get
the feedback we
internet.
got from the internet
That's-
was the gloves are wrong and does Sonic fuck? And we're proud to say the answer to both of these is an emphatic yes.
We should mention we only did our research on DeviantArt.com
Yeah.
to try and get the real source image of what fans want Sonic to look like.
Were people really upset about the gloves?
I mean, perpetually
think so.
through Sonic the Hedgehog history,
Oh.
people have been
I thought it was the eyes.
upset
I thought it was
about.
the teeth.
I mean,
Thought it was
I
the
think
thighs.
A lot of this points to there is no way to make this right. I don't care how long you take. It is you're still making a Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
Cancel the movie. That's,
there
the
you
only,
go.
that's
Yeah.
the only way.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure everyone would be chill to just walk away with that not being made.
yeah. We've heard your feedback, and yeah, we could fix it, but we've decided that actually the best way to fix it is to walk away from this entire project.
Jim Carrey's the only one still involved. He's turning it into like a weird.
It's gonna be like a one-man show.
It's gonna be on his website. His
Yeah.
weird website.
I am Ivo. He's calling it. It's a whole thing.
I would go see a Jim Carrey one-man stage show about Dr.
Sonic,
Robotnik.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Dr. Actually, do we know which one it is in the movie?
I think it's Robotnik.
Are they using Robotnik? But I thought,
yeah.
wasn't there a push to start just going with Egghead everywhere?
So Eggman. So maybe they
Or Eggman,
transition.
I'm sorry.
Maybe as he becomes more evil,
Yeah.
his name changes.
He loses his hair.
Yeah.
He becomes a chrome dome. They call him the Eggman.
Yeah, so it becomes more of an origin story, an
Okay.
Octavius to Octopus sort of thing.
Got it.
Dude, I hope we get to see his Mean Bean Machine.
You don't want to
that's
see
in,
that.
That's in the Silver Island. If you want to see those mean beans.
I don't know. This seems fairly wild because movies don't get delayed much. Like, that's pretty freaking rare.
Yeah,
not-
mostly
it's not
it'll
like
just be,
games.
Like,
Rather, we don't hear
week
about
or
it
two.
that much.
Well,
Yeah.
usually movie releases are set like 2 years in advance.
Yeah,
so
when,
it's
when
very-
they're out there with their date and they know,
Yeah.
and like, if
Oh,
it-
yeah.
it's like stuff does get pushed, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's
very
not-
rarely.
Meanwhile, James Cameron is just looking at this news and laughing maniacally. I'm gonna push Avatar back an 8th time.
Yeah,
Gotta make sure those blue guys look right.
I'm glad those artists aren't under an immense crunch time now, though.
Hmm.
If they're still trying to stick to that November date.
Or any more so than they were already maybe
Right.
part of. I've heard the animation industry is not without its own issues.
Sonic.
Sonic.
Get excited.
Gotta go fast.
no,
Speaking of getting excited, I just realized that you can actually spin this 3D model of the Playdate, Panic's new goofy little
oh yeah,
handheld game system thing.
yeah.
This is way better now because I'm just spinning this thing around endlessly.
Yeah,
you're
but can you
already
crank the
having fun
crank?
with this thing.
That's right.
This is great.
It's not even out yet. Yeah, Panic, purveyors of fine Macintosh software.
I use that FTP client
I'm
whenever
still-
I need to FTP something on a Mac.
I'm still using Transmit 3.
Wow,
It still works. Are you on the newest one?
I think so. I think I paid to upgrade.
No.
I forget why. It
yeah,
was some
they-
feature that I was like, oh, maybe I need 5.
Panic's been around forever, and they mostly make like an FTP client and like coding stuff,
Coda.
like development environment
Yeah.
stuff.
They made
For
Atari
Macs.
2600 boxes for their
They're a weird
Mac
company,
software.
but they also published Firewatch.
yeah,
Like they're a weird company.
and that Untitled Goose Game, which
Yeah,
believe
I
is
guess
they
they are
Yeah.
also putting out
Untitled
Untitled Goose
Goose
Game. So they came out and talked about publishing those 2 games in as kind of a preamble to announcing this thing by basically saying like, hey, why aren't we doing more fun stuff that we think would be cool?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like, this is not necessarily going to be some like bazillion seller
Right.
new video game platform, but they were like, hey, we wanted to make a handheld and we had the resources to do it, so here you go. It's black and white and it has a crank on it.
that's great.
The crank is not for power.
No.
Which is when I first saw it, I was like, oh, cool.
Me
I
too.
can take it camping.
Could
Yeah.
it be both?
Um,
What if it was both?
I think the ideal scenario is that it's both, but
Yeah.
I believe
That
it is
is-
not.
that is not the case.
Yeah.
So it basically looks kind of like a Game Boy. It's a widescreen but black and white, non-backlit screen with a D-pad and 2 buttons underneath it.
Mhm.
All yellow casing.
Yeah, it's yellow. It's got a crank on the side. Play.date if you want to go see what it looks like.
And that's for, the
Um,
crank is for video games. It's a controller.
Yeah, it's an input.
Yeah,
crank
essentially moves
device.
like
the
video
crank
games.
is for video
imagine
games.
it, moving time forward and back. It reminds me of those really old Fisher Price like movie projector
Yeah,
things.
well, so
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
I think that's just that one game, the Keita Takahashi game,
Sure.
that
Yeah.
uses it for time travel.
But yeah, as an example,
that is an
it's like
example,
it's an
yeah.
analog wheel that you
Yeah.
can spin
Yeah.
to do stuff in video games.
Yes.
Cool.
It's $150. And yeah, you get like it's a weird release model because what is it? 12 games that it comes with?
Yeah, it comes
But
with
they-
a season of video
Yeah,
games.
but they unlock one a
Uh,
week for like 3 months after after it comes out.
Yeah, and yeah, so there's will there be additional seasons? That probably depends on how well it sells. And
Yeah.
all that other stuff. But yeah, you will get it. It will play 12 games. There's an SDK, so if
Yes.
you want to build stuff for it yourself, you can. Or other people presumably will do something with it.
Yeah.
Make it run Doom, but with a crank. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
It looks really cool.
It's
They
neat.
partnered up with Teenage Engineering, who do a lot of really cool looking synthesizer stuff for the hardware end of things.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's got a nice look. There's been some stuff past couple days here. An event called Playdate. They contacted them and then kind of said, "Hey, we own this event that predates the existence of this thing.
Huh.
So there's been some shit that's just like, hey, that's maybe not a cool way to act.
Huh.
We also have a set of videos referred to as Playdate. They have not contacted us, as far as I know. At least about that. And so, yeah, that stuff seems uncool.
Yeah. I think they would have cleared this name with their lawyers before announcing it.
Well, it sounds like that they got the legal rights to use it and then kind of went out to this thing and said, hey, this thing that predates us, maybe don't use it. And it was just like, yeah, I don't know. That's murky and still developing. So there's a lot of kind of back and forth there from what I've looked at. So I have not dug my way to the bottom of all those Twitter threads just yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're working with Bennett Foddy's.
Yeah, Bennett Foddy, Zach Gage,
yeah.
Keita Takahashi, Sean Inman, who I'm not familiar with.
Yeah.
Those are some of the designers that made some of the included games. People have been digging into it. It's some kind of ARM-based SoC, so sounds relatively powerful. I don't know what's up with not having a backlight on the screen, but
Yeah, that's strange.
here we are.
They talk up the quality of the screen.
Yeah.
In terms of just how crisp it looks and
Yeah.
stuff without a.
I wonder if that has something to do with it being black and white. Like
Yeah,
it's high contrast enough that maybe you don't need a backlight, but I mean, anybody that bought a launch Game Boy Advance
Yeah.
remembers what a nightmare that was.
I mean, this thing is, meant to be a highly specific designed thing.
Yeah.
So, I'm not
Sure.
I think a lot of people are looking at this all wrong and saying like it's never going to compete in the market. I was like, it's not.
Oh, yeah, it's not.
To fucking be
It's
that.
a weird
It's
toy.
a weird,
Yeah.
It's,
Yes.
hey, they're making a weird thing and selling it, and it'll, hopefully those games will be cool and it looks neat and the crank is exciting.
Honestly, like I feel like I was in my head when I saw this thing, and I was like, oh, this is some like weird, cool, artsy thing. It's gonna cost like $400.
Yeah.
But the 150 price tag is like pretty reasonable, I think, for like how cool. I really just like the look of it. Like it looks like something I would like to have out like on
Yeah.
the shelf or something.
Yeah.
I think it's a weird.
The Teenage Engineering synthesizer that I keep thinking about getting every 18 months or so, I look at it and go, is like $1,300.
Yeah.
And I look at it and go, then I'm reminded that I forget how much it costs. I go, this thing's expensive, but it can't be that expensive. And I go look and go, oh man, fuck that. No way.
No, yeah.
I can't even play a fucking piano. What am I even doing?
Yeah, I looked at some of their stuff and it is very appealing looking.
Yeah.
Some nice looking.
Yeah,
guard
some of the other
hardware.
stuff they've made is really awesome.
As is this thing.
Yeah.
Like it's got a really cool look to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's all yellow and black and chromey looking. It's also super tiny. It's like 9 millimeters thick. Like just a palm of the hand kind of thing.
Yeah, I bought it was the Arduino Boy is like a different little handheld thing that people can make games for. Very, kind of it was lower price than that if I remember right. But that was a Kickstarter thing, and this seems like a version of that with some better backing and more interesting support and a roster of games as opposed to just like, we're doing this thing and maybe people will do some stuff with it. Hey, look, it's Tetris. And the handful of other things that came along. So I think it's pretty exciting looking. I would love to check it out.
Yeah, this thing having an SDK changes the whole proposition a lot for me.
Just putting it out and being like,
then you'll have things to do on it after the 3 months are up and you've played all the games.
In theory,
besides put it in a
depends
drawer.
on who does what
Yeah,
and
who knows?
the quality of that stuff.
Yeah.
The games that are coming as part of this season are presumably, they're sharing in some sort of money to make these games. So you would expect that they would be slightly more, at least, potentially more substantial.
Yeah.
Whatever that means in the context of, this kind of toy handheld thing. But yeah, I think it looks pretty rad.
Yeah. It's a good test to see if anybody has joy in their hearts.
I have bad news for you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's cool. All right. Last week, we were very excited about Mario Maker 2. This week, I'm here to deflate your excitement somewhat.
No.
You're making grand assumptions about the types of shit I give a fuck about when it comes to Mario Maker 2.
I could
but
see
I'll
go
tell
ahead.
you this.
Used
I
for
was
this.
deflated.
Yeah, I was too, because I can see a very specific use case for us with this. I found this on Nintendo World Report. Here's the headline. Online play in Super Mario Maker 2 limited to randoms only. Want to play
Damn it.
with friends? They'd better be at your house.
Hey, remember how Nintendo was like, hey, we're finally doing it. We're rolling out this online service. We're going to let you play video games online. Like, what, you want to play Splatoon with your friends? Here, just give us a little bit of money and you can play games online. Oh, but by the way, we're not going to, like, actually let you do that with this one. This one, you just got to play with random people and pay for the privilege to not play with your friends.
They've never been good at this.
They've never been good at this, but
They still are not.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you can't expect them to get better. Or hope that they get better.
Oh yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I mean, whatever. Like this is if this is actually the case, and this is based on, I think they had an event.
Yes,
recently.
they showed the game to some people. This
Which
site's
I feel like when we played Mario Maker at E3 the first time they showed it, like there were people at those kiosks saying all types of shit that turned out to not be true.
Oh, yeah, but that's E3. This is a self-contained press event like this. But also this site's a Treehouse representative. This has been confirmed.
All right.
Like the number of people going around saying like, oh, event employees have no idea what they're talking about. Like that is not the case at non-E3 events.
Okay.
By and large.
That seems like a gross misunderstanding of how people would want to play this game and enjoy it with their friends, regardless of where they live.
Yep.
Also, it's not why I'm interested in Mario Maker 2. So
sure.
it's sort of like, yeah, that's shitty, but also of course they're fucking up something. All right. I'm looking at it more from the perspective of like, hey, they haven't said anything about the cool mystery mushroom costumes that were in the first game that let you look like a car and all this other. Well, now I guess they have a drivable car.
You can drive a car.
That's a bad example, but like, hey, play as all these other characters and all these amiibo and all this other stuff. Like that's the stuff I keep looking at and go like, hey, did they say anything about that yet? No. What the fuck are we doing? Come on. So
they say they don't want to pollute the global leaderboards.
That's a dumb.
Here's what you do.
Dumb.
What?
Keep that and then just make another type of matchmaking that doesn't count to the leaderboard.
Hey, guess what? Private
Weird.
matches don't count toward the leaderboards.
Unranked matchmaking.
Whoa. What is this? What does matchmaking mean?
Also, this limitation also covers co-op play, which don't have leaderboards at all. So
yeah, it's
I just think about how many dumb competitive scenarios we have contrived with people at other websites over time in the first game, and how great it would have been to settle those on the spot.
And I'm thinking about
in a competitive an online format.
Like there's the fact that Super Mario World's one of my favorite games ever. I play it all the time. I played like a bunch of those Casio like weird mods and stuff, and I've like developed a network of friends who are also really into Super Mario World like that. I know on Twitter and shit and Discord, and we were excited to be able to like. Now is finally our chance. They live all around the country. Now is finally our chance to play this game.
Or
together.
you know what? Forget other websites. Like our website has 2 offices.
Yeah.
Like if you and Dan wanted to race in a level that we made, like that would be kind of cool.
Yes. That would be cool.
But it doesn't sound like that's going to be an option unless they.
That seems like the sort of thing that they eventually patch in.
Maybe
at this point, like today, now that people are like,
know.
"Hey, what the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah,
Like someone goes like, "Oh."
Hopefully, somebody sees all of this.
I mean, that game's out super soon, so probably not
by
at
launch, but
that
hopefully
just seems like the
this
sort of thing they would.
Does
they
Nintendo
would
have a
put.
history of like taking what people say into consideration?
I'm not sure that they do.
not a ton.
Yeah, but
honestly,
but even if they presented it as them doing their own thing, like the first Mario Maker got a lot of updates,
didn't
like
that
meaningful patches?
Didn't
and
that
meaningful
website
updates.
come out after launch for Mario Maker 1? Like
That wasn't them.
I thought they put out their own web-based community
I
stuff.
thought that was a fan-created thing.
I could have sworn Nintendo did their own thing for that.
Hmm.
I could be wrong.
So there's a chance.
Yeah. But
maybe it was a fan-created thing, and then they did their own website.
Maybe that's
I'm
what it
trying
was.
to remember now, but
we shall see.
God damn it, Nintendo.
Game's like a month away.
Yeah, I feel like Nintendo has been really good at fucking up stuff relating to the internet. So like I just look at it and go like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Of
Like
of course there's something, right?
In my mind, when people started saying that in response to this, I was like, no, it's been so long since. And then I remembered the Splatoon voice app phone thing.
Like they're bad at this.
Yeah.
They have always been bad at this. It still sucks, but I'm not like, what? I'm not shocked.
Again, I was looking forward to the very specific stuff that we could use that for.
Yeah.
I want to make levels, and I want people to play through the levels, and I want to play people's levels.
Yeah.
I don't. That's the like 4-player Mario experience is so manic and fucked up that it's a
Yeah.
different thing that
It's great.
it's all right.
It's great.
What if you could shoot each other with fireballs?
Yeah.
That'd be pretty good.
Friendly fire.
It's not why I'm there.
I guess we're gonna wade into politics tangentially for a couple stories here this week. Video game consoles are now on the docket to potentially be slapped with 25% tariffs
Great.
as part of the extremely necessary and reasonable trade war that is currently taking place between the United States and China.
Yeah, good. Very smart.
It's not a complete done deal yet, but it sounds like if an agreement isn't reached on this stuff, those could go into effect as soon as like a month from now.
Oof.
It's at 10% right now, right?
I believe that's the case.
I think that's what that article said.
So I guess that was already being absorbed into the purchase price.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's just about every console is made in China. So,
Yeah, that's
luckily, I guess we've all bought hardware this generation already.
right.
So it's a
And,
bummer for people who haven't yet.
hey, in 2020, maybe things will be
And,
different.
Yeah, maybe. Well, we'll see
Yeah.
if this has been resolved by then.
Oh, let's hope so.
But yeah, that certainly does raise weird questions for consoles that may be coming out next year.
Right.
And this would be just on consoles, not on software.
I
too,
believe
right?
that's the case. Yes. I haven't seen any mention of software anywhere. There's got to be some regulations about physical goods coming through ports of entry versus
Right.
digital downloads not being affected by that stuff.
Oh,
I would
sure.
guess.
Well, the digital downloads are not being hosted in China.
Oh,
or
right,
anything
yeah.
like
If
that,
they're
so it's,
technically
it's
being
not-
sold in this
yeah,
country, that
that's
doesn't
not-
even apply.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, 25% is a lot.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah, that's probably
That's a lot.
above the like, hey, we'll take the hit and absorb that cost
Totally.
thing. That's
Yeah.
hey, these are suddenly a little bit more money.
Like what is that? Like $75 on every Switch?
Yeah, something like that.
That's a lot.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
It's fucking dumb.
Yep.
Real dumb shit playing out.
Yeah.
Been a lot of years of some real dumb shit. That's not even close to the dumbest.
Let me just reiterate.
No.
Yeah.
Jason Schreier at Kotaku scored an actual phone interview with Josh Hawley, the senator from Missouri who has introduced the most recent loot box legislation.
This guy's excited. He's like, "We got him on the ropes. We got him on the run.
They're
Look at me."
scared.
That's right.
We got him shaking in there. Boots.
Yeah. All right, man.
I guess the biggest takeaway from this interview is that Schreier mentioned to him at one point that he used EA as an example. It's obviously not the only example, but he mentioned that like FIFA loot box revenue is a like significant share of EA's total revenue.
Right.
And basically said like, "Hey, does that concern you at all?" And his response was like, "Nah, they're resourceful people. We're confident they could figure out something else if this goes away." And
like,
in
that specific case, I actually think he's not wrong. That like,
Probably, yeah.
EA would if suddenly like their way of doing things was not legal anymore, not viable,
Yeah.
they would have to come up with something. Whereas like before, it was like, okay, well, we're gonna pull out of Belgium,
right.
or pull out of the territories completely, where rather than change the game. This would force them to change the game. But this is what we were talking about last week, where like, the government solutions are going to be ham-fisted and are going to show a
Inelegant.
real lack of understanding of video games and how they're made.
But they will be definitive, and they will be like, I mean,
They'll be like ambiguous and fucked up in a way that actually, like they'll be definitive in that they'll fucking break a bunch of shit
Yes.
that they don't intend to break.
Yes.
The language in this is pretty comprehensive. The other aspect of that FIFA mention is that he said, yes, FIFA would be covered as part of this proposed legislation, which, if you remember, basically is worded like, I forget what the exact wording was, but it was basically games targeted at children or that children may play, which is
So games.
basically everything.
Or, at that point, like, do you then go by the ESRB rating and say, like, oh, M-rated games can still have this stuff? Or
oh yeah.
or do you have to, like, revisit?
Mortal Kombat safe.
Yeah, or like, or does any game that chooses to have these boxes in it automatically become an M?
Oh
And
my
they just go
God.
like, oh, well, the ESRB is pretty shoddy at enforcing this shit
Yeah.
anyway, so fuck it. Yeah, we'll take the hit. Yeah, FIFA's an M-rated game. Whatever, who cares? Though the FIFA or partner organizations like FIFA might not want to be
Yeah.
associated with the M rating, honestly. But So maybe that's too far for them to go. But there's a lot of different ways that could go.
Yeah.
I think that they should find a solution to this that eliminates like blind boxes from paid. You know, I like in spirit. Like I think loot boxes and blind boxes for money, for actual real money, is shitty. But also, I think a lot of games have started moving away from some of that stuff too. So
the senator leans very heavily on the kind of online casino analogy.
Yeah,
this is essentially like pushing gambling on children.
Like we're if it was like I think for the gambling analogy to work, I think what you're getting out of the boxes has to really matter, and there's where I think you see a hard split of like for FIFA Ultimate Team specifically. Yes, like you're getting that is the gameplay comes out of those packs. You are getting good cards at random, and that's making your deck, and that matters.
Well, I think
but at that point, like, is he going to go fucking, like, are they going to go regulate Pokemon cards? Is Jan going to not be able to find them by the
don't do
register
this to
anymore?
me.
Like, because that's the same shit.
I mean, his argument is basically that children are not mentally equipped to make, informed decisions about
neither am I.
What kind of how much money to dump into stuff like this.
Sure,
Yeah,
I think I can agree with
a child
that.
will value, a child will value a really nice looking skin in a game that might not have, real repercussions, because it's just like the thing that they see and they want, and they know they have
the social currency of like Fortnite skins. Like seeing more people talk about that stuff, and that
like
that's an avenue that I had
you don't
not
have
considered.
the John Wick skin,
right? Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. From my understanding, Hawley also is kind of an anti-social media crusader, so he maybe just sort of has an axe to grind with big tech in general.
Hey,
but he does make
like
he
honestly.
He does make multiple references in this interview to quote C-suite executives.
Yeah, it's about time those C-suite executives.
So
C-suite.
Just kind of painting a target directly on the executives that are driving the stuff. Whatever. The industry does not seem especially interested in self-regulating so far. When the ESA just keeps throwing up their hands and saying, like, you can turn on parental controls, it's fine.
The ESA has been very ineffective at this stuff, and I think that's the larger issue is, like, there have been plenty of opportunities for the game industry to get its shit together and try to figure out, like, okay, how do we get this eye turned away from us? How do we clean up our shit enough to where this is okay for everybody?
Yeah.
And just like falling back on the parental controls argument is not enough. So we're past that now. So for them to just be as ineffective as they have been on this issue speaks to, well, whatever. We talked about all the glaring stuff, that Variety story about the ESA, like all that sort of stuff, like, their kind of issues that prevented them from getting in the game and being more effective here. And so now you've got the government trying to do it. This is what happens.
Yep.
And we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. You may have seen the news last week that every trace of the Ouya is being eradicated from this earth.
I got an email as a registered Ouya developer.
In a matter of weeks.
Which apparently I registered a developer account for Ouya at some point. I got the email saying, hey, we're shutting it down.
Hey, you can't make games for the Ouya anymore.
But I haven't done it.
Sorry, you can't sell games for the Ouya anymore.
But I'm never. All right.
Soda Drinker Pro 2 is just beyond the horizon. Like
Soda Drinker is going to end up. That's a Kinect game on Xbox One. You take back what you said about the Ouya.
That guy ever make anything else?
Yeah. Yes. Some other stuff.
Anyway, yeah. So I had totally forgotten that Razer bought all the Ouya stuff.
Yep.
At some point.
Relabeled it to
As
something.
They merged it with
Zone.
What is it? They have their own Forge
Yeah.
console. They kind of merged all the Ouya stuff with that.
It was like, hey, here's another Android-based device storefront
Like
thing.
Mad Catz had
Yeah.
something out there.
Yeah, they had their game stick or whatever the fuck it was.
Oh,
right?
no, that was
That was
something. No, they had the Mojo. Mad Catz Mojo.
Huh.
But there also was a game stick. I have one of those.
And then the
goddamn
NVIDIA Shield
things.
is technically an Android-based console.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. I mean, the Oculus Quest is technically an Android-based console.
June 25th is when all this stuff's going away. And after that point, it sounds like you may not even be guaranteed to still be able to download your games. or that they may not work.
Yeah, that may not
Your
work.
game,
Like if there's
singular,
an internet
Towerfall.
check-in,
Yeah.
like at the beginning, you would not be able to.
Right,
play.
yes. Polygon asked Razer. The story says, downloaded games may still function after that date if they don't require an online check-in at launch. Razer says, contact the game developer for confirmation.
Sure.
I'm sure they will
I'm
be
gonna
very eager to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I'm sure someone will be there to answer that question at all.
Just dial the phone number.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, they could say, "Hey, I don't know. I don't even know. I was going to say you could migrate customers and say, "Hey, here's an APK you can sideload onto your Ouya if you want to play it." Like, there's stuff they could do, but
I wonder if they've just made the calculation that like, hey, there's nobody that cares about
no,
this.
yeah, this is
Like
like
we don't even have to make good on this because
this
nobody's going to raise a
seems
stink.
like more of a theoretical issue than an actual one.
Yeah.
but
Towerfall came out on everything, so
yeah.
Yep.
the one game everybody wants.
I mean, the Ouya controller just was so unresponsive. Like getting controllers,
Oh my
period, to
God.
respond on Ouya felt bad. Like
Yeah.
even plugging in Xbox controllers half the time was fucked up somehow. So
Yeah.
couldn't even run XBMC well.
Nope.
Man,
That clock app
that's-
though.
if that's not the kiss of death.
Man,
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
clock app kept time.
I'm gonna break my boxy box back out here in a minute.
Yeah. Good Old Games is removing, I think speaking of things going away, the entire Telltale lineup from their
This is
store.
Dumb.
Or I believe, in
don't
fact, they already
understand
did. I
this.
believe
Yeah.
this actually took place yesterday. Tales from the Borderlands has also disappeared from Steam.
Which I think 2K got out there and said we're
Yes.
working to put
Yes,
it
2K
back,
is trying to get that. I didn't realize that Borderlands 3 apparently like continues on from the events of Tales from the Borderlands.
Hmm.
Which,
Like at the end of Borderlands, that's the beginning of 3.
yeah, at the end.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, this says the Borderlands 3 story will pick up where the events of Tales from the Borderlands left off.
Gotcha.
So, kind of almost makes me actually want to play
Yeah.
that game finally.
And I've heard really good things
Yeah,
about
because
that.
everybody
Yeah.
really likes it.
Mhm.
Hopefully it'll be purchasable again on Steam.
Yeah. Sounds like this Good Old Games thing is just a done deal. Nobody's working to get that stuff back up or anything.
I don't understand this. Like, if like a music artist, dies or something like that, like his music doesn't go away.
Well, it depends on
Like a movie
who
director
is
dies.
publishing it. Like this is a case where the publisher.
Right.
This is like if Sony Records folded, where do you send the checks?
Okay. Yeah. I
So,
get that part of
yeah.
it, but in the grand scheme of things, it's like we need a way to figure this out.
Right.
Like there's
So
no video
so
game
the stuff doesn't
estate.
disappear.
Yeah, and it becomes like, okay, well, then you need to like somehow buy the rights to that
I'll take the
from
checks.
them. And
Yeah, Jason will
then-
take
yeah,
them.
I'll take them.
yeah. But that was
That's
like
fine.
when games get delisted and relisted. Like I think it was when Warner bought Midway, there were some Midway games that disappeared from like Xbox Live for a while because they had to rework them and
That
like,
stuff's
okay,
always weird to me.
or like who gets the money for this and the publisher went under, so now we have to pull it from the store because otherwise we're just keeping this money.
That's
in some
okay.
kind of limbo.
Fine.
But it's not your money, but it's on your books, and that no one likes that.
I like free money.
But it's not but you have to make, you might get called on it at any moment.
No, he's not the book
Someone
guy.
might show up
No.
and be like, "Oh, I bought the rights to this, and where's my, where's all the money you
That's
paid
why
Where
for
were
me?"
you when I needed you?
Yeah,
He uses the money
Come
to
at
buy a
me.
lawyer,
I like it.
and then the lawyer takes care of all of that.
Oh.
I wonder if this has anything to do with the fact that I don't think a single game Telltale ever put out wasn't licensed from another property.
right.
Like, did they put out any original games? I don't think so. I can't think
Bone is
of one.
licensed.
Wolf,
Bone-
the
The
Wolf,
Wolf
No,
Among
that
Us
was
is that's a
licensed.
graphic
Yeah,
graphic
that's a
novel.
thing.
Yeah,
The
Bone,
Wolf.
Bone is a
Yeah.
comic series.
Wolf.
I can't think of a single thing they did that wasn't
That was their whole model,
licensed
right?
The
from another
Lego.
Like
property.
Disney.
Yeah, that's a brand new. They
Yeah.
own Telltale. They own Lego, and Strong Bad. So yeah, maybe some of this it depends on how all the contracts were written up. Like, does that stuff revert back to the license holder, and then they have to go do a new publishing deal to get it back, or
Yeah.
who knows? I'm sure it's like 8 different processes for each different game, and
Yeah. Also, they have nobody there to provide support for those games. Like,
right.
there's probably a bunch of factors here that just make it not feasible to keep selling that stuff. Other than Borderlands, everything else is still up on Steam if you just want to like lock it in. Make sure you have access to it in the future. Speaking of locking it in,
I love to lock it in.
Valve is locking in their own version of Dota Auto Chess. This is a weird arrangement. So they tried they tried to work with the makers of Auto Chess to make a collaborative project, and that didn't work out. But
the language in it is very vague in a way that it's hard to read exactly what happened.
They quote, came to the conclusion that Valve and Drodo could not work directly with each other for a variety of reasons. But so, also, I think it's the first time I've ever heard the name Drodo.
Drodo.
So they're doing
because Drodo already did a deal with someone else. Like, did they do?
Yeah, so they're doing mobile. They're doing a mobile version of Auto
and
Chess.
that's out now, right?
It's it's out.
That's right. In only in China,
Android.
right?
Is on Android.
Is that in the U.S. Android store or Google store?
I can't remember if it came to U.S. It was in Chinese alpha only for a while, and then it got a wider release. But I don't know if that was out of alpha in China or out of alpha in America. But yeah, there's like, of course, there's tons of speculation around it. But kind of the most common thing I see is they already had a deal going with, and doing business in China is going to be a lot different than doing business in America. You've got other channels you need to worry about.
Here's this paragraph from the Kotaku story I have here. Pretty much spells out the arrangement, even though it's really strange. Drodo is working on an Auto Chess-inspired mobile game to which Valve will help migrate users.
Okay.
Which is weird.
Well,
and Valve is developing its own official version of Dota Auto Chess, quote, with Drodo's blessing. Drodo will also continue to update the Dota 2 mod version of Auto Chess.
Okay, so
they've got a memorandum of understanding here.
Yeah, so that just sounds like the Dota 1 to Dota 2 thing of like Valve's going to make Dota 2, but like Dota 1 is still getting updates.
Yeah, I think it's the part where this says they're going to funnel people to this new mobile app that they have nothing to do with.
That sounds like a QR code in there.
So.
That's
even in the blog,
download it on the App Store.
That's right.
Like
even in the blog post, they were like, we encourage everyone to go to the App Store and check out their game.
Right. That sounds like that's probably the extent of that.
Yeah. A tool tip.
Right.
And this goes hand in hand with Valve registering the term Dota Underlords, Overlords a couple weeks ago.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Dota
Overlords?
Underlord.
But there's a character named Underlord. It can't be Underlords.
Maybe it's Underlord *S. You go to Underlord's Coliseum to play the auto chess. And he's like, I'm Underlord. That's how he talks, right?
Actually, it's close enough.
Hey,
let me tell you about my old Dark Rift.
Wow, I totally missed that. Yeah, that happened a couple weeks ago.
And then
Dota Underlords.
TI's coming up in a few months, so the speculation is there will be official
they'll have something there.
there.
What was that game you played on UPF? That's totally unrelated to any of this.
Yeah,
right? It's just another auto chess clone that got whipped out incredibly fast.
Red Dawn. Yeah,
it was Red something.
Is it Arena of Fire: Red Dawn? Because that's a great fake video game name.
Red Tides.
Oh, all right.
Even better.
Yeah, this would be cool. I mean, like, so, a lot of people were giving Valve shit for not supporting the Auto Chess client when it was first starting to blow up.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, like there was a lot of different stuff they could have done to make matchmaking easier and this and that and the other thing. But it sounds like they were trying to, like, at least talk with them during that process.
Yeah.
And figure stuff out. And
I wonder if they came to it late because, like, I feel like the Auto Chess window opened right around the time that they were very focused on trying to make people care about Artifact.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they were slow to come to it because they were like, this thing is in the way of our Artifact.
Yeah, but it's also different because like Artifact is the thing you have to purchase.
It's a totally different thing.
Launcher.
But it is still like here's a Dota related thing.
Like if we're gonna focus our resources. Yeah.
Also, Artifact is blowing back up on Twitch.
The Twitch numbers on Artifact are really huge.
It's back in the spotlight again.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
I tuned into a couple of those over the weekend.
Did they shut it down yet? I assume they must have started policing it.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
Because I saw a bunch of screenshots going around of just like straight up porn being streamed.
Oh yeah, hardcore pornography on the Artifact tag.
I assume they must have cracked down by now.
I watched a few seconds of Suicide Squad on Twitch over the weekend.
Do they not have automated content ID style?
I don't know.
Robots?
They do for VODs.
Okay.
I don't know about live stream.
Oh,
I think the thing I liked the most that these assholes were doing was like they're playing just episodes of Dragon Ball Z or something, and then over it is in shitty text is waiting to queue for Artifact. Like some people would have Artifact running in the corner of a full screen, like a 4x3, and it's just like, you guys are fucking scum.
Yeah.
And in this one particular case, I appreciate your scumness.
I'm looking forward to Auto Chess being in its own launcher and me not.
Well, I was
my friends to download Dota.
So I was just going to ask if you think it'll be a totally separate product on Steam, not another tab they'll patch into the Dota client.
I think it makes the most sense since it's just such a completely different game. Like it's nothing like Dota, and so they can break away from that like pre-existing. Because I've had friends who I was telling auto chess about, and they're like, "Yeah, it sounds kind of interested, but I don't really like Dota because just the name Dota is so like you already know if you don't like Dota, and most people don't like Dota." But
They're right.
Them breaking it off into I think its own launcher would be a really
But if it's
smart
called Dota Underworlds, it still says Dota right there.
It does, but it also doesn't say chess because that's another thing. People
Yeah.
are like, I don't like chess, and literally the only thing it has in common with chess, it's on the 8x8 grid.
Yeah. All every part of the name is bad.
The auto part is the only.
Welcome to
part.
mods.
Well, the auto part's bad because then I look at it and go like, is it a clicker? No, it's kind of not. But maybe a little bit like, all right, I'm confused by all of this. Forget it. But also, if they put it into the Dota client, wouldn't it be easier for them to tie it in for like if they wanted to do battle pass stuff or any kind of thing related to the stuff they do around?
Yeah,
TI,
that would make more sense to me,
like,
personally.
I feel like if they're trying to get new players to play it, yeah, it depends. If they're trying to use it to bolster Dota, like the brand of Dota,
Right.
then I think it makes sense in the Dota client.
Do you think the Dota brand needs bolstering?
I don't think so. I
Okay.
think like it's.
I feel like it's hard for me to get a window into that because it's through you two, and it seems like you have both fucking run screaming away from proper Dota.
I mean, there was a
So-
legitimate exodus among almost everybody I know, with a couple of exceptions from that game about 18 months ago.
7.22, Brad. Everyone has an AGS upgrade now, Brad. It's like
Everybody?
everybody.
Wait, everybody?
Everybody.
Holy shit.
Morphline's got one.
Holy shit!
But
what is-
like there's that. There's the Kotaku had a really good story, just kind of like digging deep into what I think a lot of like our guts told
The esports.
the esports stuff
Yeah.
about like, hey, esports is like it's not even a bubble. It's just like it's fucking
massively
borderline
inflated.
scam territory. Which but they went and dug into it and came back with numbers or came back with like a lot of reporting that to back it up. And you're like, yeah, okay, this is the vibe I've been getting off of it, and it's very much seems to be the case.
God, are you saying that Alchemist is the best character in the game now?
Alchemist.
That's exactly what
can
I'm
give
saying.
Infinite AGS, dude.
I know. You could give him to the other team. Man.
Well, like the idea, I think that was that story, or maybe it was people commenting on that story, was where I saw the notion of just like a lot of people that were maybe like professional Dota players just said like fuck it because they make more money streaming
Yeah.
regular ass games of Dota than they do playing at the tournament level.
And also,
Well, they can do
So-
both, though, right? Like, those are not mutually exclusive, I wouldn't think.
up to a point, but like if you're trying to practice for a tournament, you're not streaming.
Yeah,
any
you'd have
of
to take a
those.
break off every few months, probably.
I really liked in that story, kind of the last paragraph, they talked to somebody who I think was involved with Overwatch League. And he was like, yeah, the consensus here is like, we know it's a fucking bubble. We want it to burst already so we can like have an actual genuine growth. And like,
Yeah.
because people are always going to be passionate about
Well, this is kind
competitive
of
video
it's
games.
the thing about fighting games is like it's never felt attached to that shit. Like the fighting game scene feels like a little more grounded.
Yeah, the most you
Like,
get is
there's
like
money
here's
getting
Ono
pumped into
up
it.
here on the stage
Yeah,
announcing
exactly.
a character. Or
Yeah,
like-
and you know that like probably some marketing money changed hands for them to do that sort of
Yeah.
stuff, or Capcom sponsored this, or this pop bonuses. Like you know where that money came from.
yeah,
Whereas all this
you're
other
not
stuff.
fighting on the Racer X stage.
No, yeah,
and-
or just like it's everyone just going like we want to get a sponsor for this event. We just, one of these days, one of us is going to get Taco Bell to spend some more esports money, and when we do,
Yeah.
we're going to break another big client, and then Ford will come through, and then Coke will come through, and they're just
Right.
like looking at it as just like this money making opportunity, and not like, hey, we're passionate about these fucking video games. Let's get together and play them.
yeah.
Which yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Brody.
Eh.
Kind of curious to see where that goes.
Yeah,
Did you get the battle pass?
I did.
I heard the hats are very good.
The hats are very good.
Okay. I should maybe. No, I shouldn't.
Do I need
There's
to
going
make
to be a baby invoker skin.
What?
child
do I need
invoker.
to make fantasy picks again?
Oh yeah.
Oh, we should, yeah.
The card packs aren't out yet because they have to wait till all the teams are locked
Oh,
in
right.
for TI.
Yeah.
But
We should probably reconvene our industry-leading...
It's the best Dota coverage in the business.
Yeah.
As
Certainly the
far as
most
I'm
thorough.
concerned. No one's gonna dig into it the way we do.
What is this I heard about? Like, there's a mode where they don't have items now or something? Like, what is the...
what?
I saw this... Maybe I should...
Axe doesn't have an axe.
Is that what it was that I was seeing? that you can like play without the heroes having their items or
Well,
something
there's
weird like that.
certain arcanas that are like, here's axe without his axe, and
Right.
he just like
It's
punches.
just like naked axe running around.
Yeah,
Weird.
Gross.
And very hot.
very hot. He brings something else.
Hey, you cared all about this the apparent League of Legends coming to mobile story that's been going around
I
a
saw
little
that. That'll be interesting. Like, I feel like they've probably gone back and. I mean, I'd imagine Riot has been thinking about League of Legends
Yeah.
mobile for a very long time.
Yeah.
But it was maybe, in my opinion, like the success of your PUBG mobile, your Fortnite mobile, that really got a fire under their ass to be like, oh, people will play these games on
We
mobile.
will make some amount of money on this, even if it's not
Yeah.
the same.
I think it'll be cool. And I have a lot of friends who like don't have a ton of time for League or Dota or anything anymore. But like if they can play a game on their commute or something, seems neat.
Yeah. All right, last story. George R.R. Martin, author of A Song of Ice and Fire, which
Mhm.
begat Game of Thrones, as most everyone knows.
Finally, it's about time this website got back to what matters,
Yeah,
covering Game of Thrones.
that's right.
Reconvening
Any
the,
chance
the
we're going to get a
Throners.
Throners episode 2?
We came very close to recording one while it was in LA and just forgot. So maybe we'll have to do one wrapping up the
Game
series.
of Thrones is hotter than it's ever been right now. People are
right.
people are loving that shit.
The market
Oh,
has
yeah.
never been hotter.
People love Game of Thrones.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of growth potential there for sure.
All my fellow Throners out there know what I'm talking about.
Hardcore into how good season 8 is.
It's the best season.
He runs a blog about
George R.R. Martin does.
stuff.
Doesn't he have
well,
a
yeah.
press? Like,
Books
what
are
are,
right.
It is. I
Like-
think it might actually run on WordPress.
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
It doesn't say at the bottom.
He's a writer, not a webmaster.
It's
He's
very
a dungeon
brutal.
master, not a webmaster.
It very
Okay,
much
there you
looks
go.
like this might be a blogger doesn't exist anymore, does it?
Blogger. Oh
Google's
my god.
blogger.
It looks
Oh,
like
I had a
it looks
blogger.
it looks a lot like that, but I
I
don't know
did
what this is
too.
actually running on. It's a very blog blog, like a man in his late 60s, early 70s might.
Talks about football a lot.
Yes, he's a big football fan.
Dragons.blogspot.com.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, he's a big football fan. He basically posted a blog about just the emotional aspects of the show ending and what it's done for his career and the careers of everyone else involved, and the fact that he's doing a million fucking things now.
Yeah.
He has,
Except writing a book.
yeah, right, dude. The
Why
group,
bother?
the group of people that are furious with him for not finishing the 6th book must have been like screaming and running around the room in circles after this post.
No, I'm gonna do a video game instead.
I'm trying to find the. As a producer, I've got 5 shows in development at HBO. Some having nothing whatsoever to do with the world of Westeros. 2 at Hulu and 1 on the History Channel.
Get that money, George.
I'm involved with a number of feature projects, some based upon my own stories and books, some on material created by others. There are the short films I'm hoping to make, adaptations of classic stories by one of the most brilliant, quirky, and original writers our genre has ever produced.
Me.
John Steinbeck.
Yeah, and he's, I'm sure he's got a number of
Watching
years.
a lot of My Hero Academia these days.
I'm sure he's got a number of years left, but that sounds like a lot to do besides writing
I got all these Funkos to stack and
Oh,
sort.
God.
the last 2 books that
They
are
made an
due.
invisible John Cena. That's
any-
hilarious.
Anyway, in this litany of other things he's doing besides writing books, he mentions I've consulted on a video game out of Japan.
Super Mario Maker 2.
Yep, that's the one. So
Like,
that
I don't think you should be able to play with friends.
Just me and Moto like, okay.
Yeah, all right. It's Game of Thrones guy. What the fuck am I going to say?
so there's been rumors going around for a while before he posted this that he was working with From Software on a new game,
Yeah.
and this,
It kind of confirms it.
not direct confirmation, but yeah, it certainly confirms that he's doing something with somebody.
And I think there was a lot of back and forth, not like what was it, 3 weeks ago or something like that, when these dots started getting connected. That was like, hey, it doesn't mean he's the lead writer. Like some people were reporting, he's the lead writer on this game. It's like,
Yeah,
no,
consulted could mean a
yeah.
lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Consulted could mean he went there once.
is this
for a
dragon
day.
sick enough? And he was like, no,
No, dude. Name it Drogon and we'll start talking.
I forget when these rumors started going around, actually, because
Talking to my lawyers.
like when this first happened a few weeks ago, I tried to dig into it and figure out where it was coming from, and there seemed to be like no actual basis for it whatsoever.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just kind of left it alone, but this seems to back that stuff up. I think it might have been this website Gamatsu that ran this stuff the first time,
Right.
a few weeks ago. And they are saying that this is an actual collaboration between Martin and Miyazaki at From. and that it will be announced at Microsoft's press conference.
Hmm.
And there was some suggestion that Bandai Namco would be publishing it,
Okay.
which, they did all the Dark Souls games.
Right.
So there's certainly history there.
That's-
Anyway, that could be cool.
That's out there.
Yeah, if that's
Yeah,
true,
yeah.
I'm really excited because I think the thing that George R.R. Martin does best is like world design
Yeah.
and like the intricacies of the like. I didn't read the books, but hearing people who have read the books and like watching the show, like that man is really good at like thinking of just how he's like all these different cities and all the interworking politics between them and stuff like that. And I can see taking that and kind of drill it into a video game and just providing a really good foundation, even if he's not the lead writer, even if he's somebody who can be like, well, have these, how would these people interact? Like, and just kind of lay out a map for people to go off of, I think would be a really valuable asset.
I've
Do you
read
have any characters that are like related that,
Yeah.
that can get it on?
yeah.
If so, I recommend it.
I've read the first 4 books, and it is an incredibly elaborate like framework and history, and it's basically it is like textually the kind of stuff that From implies exists behind their games.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like you get the sense that an epic of that scale like underpins a From game.
What if he's
but they
just
don't-
writing flavor text? He's going to write the arcane descriptions of items that imply that world,
Like that
but
would- that
not
would-
actually. He's like, oh, I've written 2 books about what this world is, but
That
we're
would be
not
kinda
putting them
cool.
out
That'd be kind of cool.
because they only filtered into this gem has a.
Also, the rumor is that there will be horse riding in the game.
Fuck.
So there you go.
Oh, that article says horse racing.
They corrected that.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Okay.
they issued an update
Oh,
saying,
thank
sorry,
God.
we meant horse riding.
Special edition comes with a bucket.
Yes.
Oh, Seabiscuit.
Anyway, that could be cool.
Yeah, it could. That's like one of those dartboard combinations of just like George R.R. Martin is going to team up with From
Halo?
Software.
No, wait, no, it's on the line.
It's on the line.
Okay. Shall we move into some emails?
Let's do it.
How's
Yeah.
everybody
Yes.
feeling?
I'm feeling like
Good.
I'm ready for emails.
All right. Well, you're in luck because I
Play
have
the
a
music.
lot
You can't
here.
go back now.
A ton of emails.
Dale.
A metric ton, in fact. Sent to bombcast@giantbomb.com. First emails from Jeff in Toronto.
Hey,
Modern Warfare 2, Saints Row 2, and Halo 2. What do these games all have in common?
2.
Who can say? Really?
I know who can say. Keith David.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, one of my favorite voice actors. He has added some excellent voices to some of my favorite video game franchises. And even though his voice is very recognizable, all of his characters are very unique and believable. Who are some of your favorite voice actors who have taken major roles in multiple different gaming franchises? I feel like Troy Baker and Nolan North are like kind of disqualified here,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
kind of, yeah.
Jennifer Hale.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought about her, especially because of the MK11. I finally got around to
yeah.
linking the mobile app and getting her announcer, and that's a good announcer.
Yeah, it's a
Like
very
I
good
don't think of her as like, oh, that's Mass Effect lady, like that doesn't,
Mhm.
even though you can hear it, like that doesn't pop into your head because
Right.
she's just a very good voice actress.
Yeah, I think, like that's the sort of thing a lot of voice actors have so much range that you don't know unless you're looking it up.
I feel like
So
the
I don't know
less
that I have.
yeah, like the less celebrity a voice actor
Right.
is, the more they blend in and like can
Exactly.
be that kind of chameleon.
I mean, that kind of is the Mortal Kombat 11 situation. Of
Right.
just like they're one example of just like we got someone from outside the
Right.
voice acting world to
Yeah.
voice Sonya. They're
That
like,
worked
oh,
out.
she sucks.
That worked out really well.
Like, don't get me wrong, I love the shit out of Keith David, but
Yeah, but it's Keith David. It's
kinda Keith David.
He sounds like Keith David. You're like, oh, that's the
Yeah.
guy that said the West Side motherfucking connection. Like that's that
Yeah.
dude.
I mean, he has one of the best voices in the business.
Yes.
But you kind of know him and you hear him.
Yeah, like the Arbiter sounds like Keith David.
Yeah.
Keith David. Like it sounds like Keith David showed up to read. Like if you're bringing in Keith David, it's because you want him to sound like he sounds. I assume.
Yeah.
Like
Except with like two weird jaws flapping
Yeah,
out to the sides.
exactly.
In some cases.
Great
Dalton,
natural voice. Like that's
Yeah.
a terrific voice.
totally. Dalton from St. Louis. With it recently being announced that Abe is back in Oddworld Soulstorm, do you think there's any chance we will finally ever get a sequel to Oddworld Stranger's Wrath?
Give it 17 years,
Yeah.
Okay.
and we'll get there. They'll have to reboot it first. new and tasty strangers, then maybe they'll do a sequel.
I don't even know what that company is.
Originally, they wanted to do. They were talking. They were going to do 5 games, and they were going to be like
This is
all
like
different.
originally,
Yeah,
like
originally
in the 90s.
And then they made a sequel to Abe's. They did Abe's Exodus, and it was like, wait, you were supposed to do 5 different games, and Munches was supposed to be the true second one. And then they ended up making a sequel to the first one. Yeah, it's like that thing's been a muddy mess since the start. So I don't know.
Yeah. And then my understanding was the studio didn't exist for a number of years.
Yeah,
And now
it does.
they are back.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lorne Landing is eternal.
Stranger's Wrath was a good game.
Yeah, I've never played a ton of it, but it seems like there's kind of a big cult
I feel
following.
like that's the only
behind that game.
Oddworld game that I truly liked. Like
Yeah, same.
the first one was like, oh, this is clever in that kind of Prince of Persia flashback-ish
yeah.
sort of way, but I didn't especially like the communication
World design.
stuff.
You
and world
didn't
design.
like the fart button.
Yeah,
I know you didn't.
yeah, not a fan.
Damn it.
I needed more variety in the sounds, and the farts just weren't spooky enough for me.
Not spooky.
No.
Not like you farted up a ghost.
Yeah,
Right.
I want a good Halloween style scare fest.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Here's a question from Greg. Imagine a world where instead of being bothered by flies throughout your life, you're instead bothered just once by the gigafly.
Fuck that.
A fly the combined size of every fly that would otherwise have bothered you throughout your life. You do not know when the gigafly will strike. Is this a better world?
How long is the gigafly around?
I don't know.
Like, can I kill it?
Spell that out.
I wonder if I
It's
can
gonna try
kill
and
it.
kill me.
Right, yeah. Like, am I in
It's gonna
danger?
fucking
Or is
throw
it
up
just
on
gonna
you.
buzz
Yeah, it's
around?
gonna
He
throw up
did.
on
He
you.
did just
Then eat
use. He
me.
just used the word bothered. You are bothered
Bothered.
once by the gigafly.
Oh, bother.
Let's just say it. Let's imagine your average encounter with a fly.
I don't think
that's
about
annoying.
it.
I
don't run
It's
into
rarely-
that multiply
like,
that.
You see flies here
Oh,
and there, but it's
God.
not like I'm not like, oh my god, flies.
But what if while you're driving though, the gigafly just pops up in your car?
Oh, yeah, that could be bad.
That could be super bad.
I mean, if it was truly a gigafly, it wouldn't even fit in the car.
It's true. Well, I don't know.
It
How
would
many,
crash. I mean, it would hit my car and knock it off the road. I assume.
how many
Gigafly.
flies is an average person running into?
Like, quite a few.
I would
their
assume
life.
a
Depends on
lot.
the region.
How big a fly are we talking?
I would assume it is at
Like
least
a mayfly.
as big
Oh, God.
as an adult deer.
Also, if we don't have flies anymore, we can't swat them. All our fly swatter, so many fly swatter businesses are going to go out of business.
Yeah.
Electric
Civilization
zappers.
crumbles at that
Exactly. The
Flies
economy
are-
will be in ruin.
Flies are job creators, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Okay, then.
If
Give me
flies
all the
didn't
flies.
exist, someone would have to invent them.
I'm afraid of the gigafly. I don't want that.
Yeah, that doesn't
The
sound so good.
gigafly is not real. It can't hurt you.
It's just Jeff
fly.
Goldblum. Don't worry.
Oh man, I
then yes.
really should not have seen that movie at a very young age.
Yeah.
Fucking arm wrestling scene.
Yeah.
Ah.
Still seared into my memory, and I've only seen it once. Ugh. This email comes in from Rochester James. You can probably infer where he's from.
No.
Madison.
Dayton.
Jamestown.
Let's see. This obviously was written last week. Today, the new Terminator trailer dropped, and I was trying to describe my feelings to my girlfriend who has no history with the franchise. I realized that I was describing to her the Sonic cycle pretty quickly. Is Terminator the Sonic of movies? Both have had 1 or 2 good entries, then stopped being reliable in the early 90s.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see what you're going for.
Is that an analogy? Hold up.
And the people who still like it have questionable judgment.
Hmm.
Is the other part I would say to that.
Okay. Sure.
So yeah, I think that all checks out.
Yeah.
Yeah. At indie wrestling shows, people dress up as both Sonic and the Terminator.
Yeah.
So works out.
Okay.
Edward Furlong
Oh.
is a lot like Tails.
Yeah,
can see that.
yeah, sure. I
Yes.
can go with that. So you're saying Sonic the Hedgehog is going to be a guest character in MK11?
Yeah. It's going to be the old movie Sonic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh God.
I saw a bunch of people referring to that Terminator thing as Terminator 6, which James Cameron flat out came out and said, yeah, those other movies didn't happen. This is basically Terminator 3.
Yeah.
Like he's been very explicitly about,
Okay, James.
about shitting on those other movies as hard as
Everyone's going to
possible.
forget about those, James. And everyone's going to be really excited about
Yeah,
this
they're like,
one.
oh, finally. You know what else that fucking worked for? Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5.
Why? What did they do? Oh, right. Because there
Shit
have
the
been way
fucking
more
bed
than 5.
big time.
Yes. My understanding is this is a direct sequel to Terminator 2, however.
Who fucking cares?
Yeah, I don't know.
What the fuck is wrong with people?
I don't know. They made 2
There's
movies.
so much other shit being made.
Yes. I agree. That kind of goes for a lot of things. Though.
Yeah.
Like that RoboCop reboot that came out a couple years ago.
I heard that was not terrible.
fine.
That was fine.
That was fine.
If they wanted to reboot the Terminator concept, like sure, I'd be like, all right, yeah, see what you got.
I mean,
who plays
the
the Terminator in that?
I don't think we need to reboot Terminator because we're just going to be living it in 4 to 6 years.
See, there you go. The opportunities to make it match up with what actually happened.
I just want another opportunity to see Linda Hamilton shoot a bazooka.
Who plays Terminator
You're
in
gonna
a
get that.
reboot?
Yeah, if you were
One of the
rebooting,
Chris's.
In this one?
No,
Or-
like if
oh,
we
in-
rebooted Terminator from the ground up.
I see.
Hemsworth, Evans, Pratt, any of the Chris's will do.
Jericho.
Favorite Chris?
Jericho.
Fat Chris Pratt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like
But he wouldn't be the Terminator.
like Parks and Rec.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go with Evans.
Cross.
Okay, sure.
it'd be funny. He'd be like, I need your boots and he puts it all on backwards, and you're just like, well, he's a robot. What the fuck does he know?
Keeps jumping around.
Yeah.
James from Chicago. As an update to last week's talk about the original Mortal Kombat actors, I was checking the schedule for some of the street festivals around me in Chicago this summer and found that Anthony Marquez, who played Kung Lao in the original trilogy, now has a band that plays gigs locally called Kung Lao and the Scorpions.
I need footage of
Man.
this. Does he
Should
get
I
into outfit like his outfit?
should I go see Kung Lao's band?
Yes.
It's like
Hell
7
yeah.
it's like 7 blocks away from me, and it's a street festival, so there's only a suggested donation rather than a fixed entry fee. So the only thing I have to lose is my time.
Throw him a couple bucks if you have fun.
Yeah, but also how do you not go see that?
Yeah, go see.
Walk
take a
7
video
blocks
clip.
and
Walk
see.
the 7 blocks and take a look
Please
at
send
it.
us a
Walk the
video
7
clip.
blocks, take a picture or video of that, and
Yeah.
send it back.
Kung Lao comes around with his hat. Nice for donations.
Oh man! And if you don't give him one, it's suggested that he fucking slices you in half.
Yes.
That's right. I wonder if they got to keep like props and costumes.
Yeah.
If you could have one Mortal Kombat prop or costume,
Like
what would
from
it
the
be?
original shoots?
Yeah.
Oh man. I mean,
Johnny-
Kung Lao's hat is not a bad one.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah. Johnny Cage tights.
I would want like the
4-0 arms.
well, what if, I mean, the whole Goro that they use
Oh, yeah,
for
I
all the
guess
stop
those, like
motion
a
stuff would be kind of
claymation.
cool.
I think I would probably maybe go for the Baraka mask. Because in that footage, I was looking at on YouTube that I
Yeah.
mentioned, like they talk about, like Ed talks about going and buying that thing at like a grocery store.
Yeah.
It's just some like shitty cheap rubber Halloween mask that
Really?
they painted up and like glued fake teeth onto. Like,
Like
it,
a Michael Myers Halloween
Yeah, I was
kind of
gonna say they learned
situation.
from Halloween.
it probably does not actually look great up close.
Oh yeah.
But like you can also see a bunch of the footage of them painting Jax's arms on,
Oh
and
right.
like
yeah.
up close in video that doesn't look amazing either.
Yeah, they touch it up in post.
Or it's just those sprites are so small it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Like it looks fine.
I would maybe want one of the ninja outfits. I
Yeah,
don't know.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good deal, but it's smoke.
Well, I think they only did one and then they colored it.
Yeah.
Like they
Oh,
literally
yeah, I believe
palette
that's the
swapped
case.
the outfits.
Smart.
So yeah.
This person didn't ask to be anonymous, but they wrote in about their job, so I guess I won't say their name just to be safe.
Good call.
During your email section last week, you briefly chatted about the Mega Drive and Genesis names and where they came from. As the senior copywriter for a large consumer packaged goods company with over 10 years of marketing writing experience under my belt, kill me, I wanted to shed some light into the naming process for a new product launch. Once a new product has been selected for release, it has an internal code name. This is your Durango, Dolphin, Revolution, etc. A brand marketing team then provides a copywriter with data about the product, where they think it'll perform best, which consumer demographic they want to corner and berate with ads, along with what feelings and emotions they want the name to elicit when heard by consumers. Initially, a copywriter or team of copywriters will write out literally hundreds of name ideas. These can range from the straightforward Nintendo Entertainment System to the fantastical Dreamcast. Once those hundreds of names are compiled by the creatives, they're sent back to the brand team who specializes in data and spreadsheets. Then the spreadsheet folks hold a meeting without the copywriters and choose their select names. Their select names are sent to the ownership class of the company, who are somehow less creative than the spreadsheet folks. who select on a whim which name they enjoy the most. It's usually one their spouse or nephew came up with that just sounds right, or some other odd reason they plucked from the ether. Those select names are then relayed back to the copywriter, who proceeds to give hundreds of variations on those names, only to have the owners and stockholders decide they really just wanted the name they originally chose, but, quote, appreciate the hard work you did. I guess my point is, are you guys hiring?
For copywriters?
I have limited marketing writing experience, but that sounds completely
All
on track.
All of that sounds incredibly plausible to me.
There's also, depending on where you go, like there are outside consultants that
Sure.
specialize in that type of like, we'll come up with names for your products and services, absolutely, and they'll come in and do all the like, what feelings do you want this to evoke, like all that sort of stuff. So
I definitely was at a company once that hired some people to come in and do that whole thing, and just like this email, they did not use a lick of it, and just went with the CEO's first idea.
Yep.
What feelings do you think they're trying to evoke with the new Xbox?
Gaming.
Video games,
The color green.
power,
Big
color
xCloud,
green.
big vape machine.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
double-sized dual vapor chambers.
Yeah.
Inhaling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Go back to the
DMT.
inhale.
Yeah. How about the PlayStation?
A longingness for death.
This is the 5th PlayStation. I think that's
A
the angle they're going for.
sleekness. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
A
Blue.
question from Hank. Early this week after my friends saw news that Sony would not be at E3, we got into an argument about what the effective meaning of being at E3 is. I argued that while Sony isn't at E3 officially, as far as anyone who isn't physically at the show is concerned, nothing has changed, as well as that, in effect, for most people, E3 starts with EA's press conference on Saturday and ends with Nintendo on Tuesday. I'm curious on your opinions about this. I could use some more ammunition against my idiot friends.
Well, I don't think EA is going to have they're not having a press conference.
Yeah.
They're going to run some streams, but it's not. That's also not what you're going to be looking for.
Yeah.
Sony is not looking to hold any kind of video presentation in that window
That we know of. Right up until like today, I would have said, yeah, they're like actually literally not at E3, but now that this Death Stranding thing is out there, I'm like, maybe they are trying to horn in on this window.
I kind of felt like, that's the sort of thing that like they seemed pretty firm in their decision when they made it about like, hey, we don't want to be at E3, we don't want to be around E3, like we're out. And you could see some last minute like, actually, shit, man, we should do something.
Right. People getting cold feet.
Yeah.
It feels too weird.
But then maybe they run a state of play or something.
Yeah.
Which
Like
is
in that time
not-
slot.
Like they're not at E3. They're not doing a press conference.
Yeah, they're not physically there.
on the floor.
like
they
the
don't have a
people
booth.
at Sony, many of the people I haven't I haven't asked, but the people I know who work at Sony, work in the PlayStation division, are just not even going to the fucking show.
Oh, yeah.
So, we had someone here not long ago who was like, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. My first June off and just hang out at home. Like, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
For them.
Like maybe Sony's not the best example to base this email on, but I get his point of like E3 to people that don't go is just those press conferences. And it doesn't matter if you're giving it in an ESA time slot or not. It's
right.
Like if
but
you're putting information out around E3,
that's the thing.
That's E3.
But currently, if they're not scheduled to put any information out, then you're going to get to that week of things and go like, oh, E3's happening, and then go, wait, where's like a full third of this equation is missing, or whatever third is not the right. You know what I mean?
When USA Today runs their story the morning, like here's all the shit that happened at E3, and if Sony has a press conference around there, they're going to loop that in.
Yes, but also I don't think USA Today will run that story. I just don't. I don't think that's or like they won't feature that story in a way that they used to in years past.
Why not?
I'm trying to think
because
what they would
USA
even
Today
get.
used to have Nintendo's shit before Nintendo announced it.
Oh, I mean, I just picked out a random like news
Okay,
organization.
Yeah, all right, okay. Yeah, but
Yeah,
there will be some mainstream coverage of E3, but even that doesn't seem like what it used to be.
Sure.
For years you would wake up Tuesday morning and the newspaper outside your hotel room would have a front page Nintendo story about what they were about to announce.
You go like, oh, I guess that's that.
3 hours later.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Like if they drop all the Death Stranding stuff this week, is that part of E3?
No.
No.
It's too early, right?
Too early.
No, but it's still new information about video games, and that's I think the point is like they could do that at any point in the year. The idea of is it part of E3 or not, it's meaningless.
I mean, it's academic but I mean, in this case, it is clearly prompted by the existence of E3.
right.
Like that, they wouldn't necessarily put out a Death Stranding trailer the last week of May if there wasn't a big show coming up.
That just seems like Kojima was probably working on one anyway, and was like, wait.
What do you mean I can't go to E3 and get a big screen?
Hang on. What are you saying?
I should really bring in my Metal Gear Solid 2 the trailer DVD sometime.
Oh yeah.
We should sit down and watch that. I don't know if that counts as a game tape or not.
It's a game disc, but we'll
There's
count
a
it.
bunch of shit on there of like interviews with people at the show, people we know
Yeah.
from 20 years ago. That's a weird DVD. Trend from Sacramento, longtime listener, first time question asker. I was listening to some of your old stuff, and I have a question. What happened to the talk box, and will it ever make a comeback to the podcast?
I just found the talk box about 2-3 weeks ago, and that tube needs a good cleaning. And once that's done, I had been thinking about that thing a little bit.
We should get that thing back in here.
Yeah,
That thing's fun.
we shall see.
All right. Patrick from North Aurora, Illinois. I recently bought the Mortal Kombat cabinet made by Arcade 1-Up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, there's your answer. As a kid, I always dreamed of owning a Mortal Kombat cabinet, and this scratches that itch. I was just wondering if you guys have had any run-ins with these machines and what you think of them. Also, Jeff being someone who owns a full-size arcade machine, would he ever consider one of these? Thanks for the countless hours of enjoyment.
So they're not full size.
Yeah.
They're like 3/4 size.
Yeah, what are they? I think that one is like 4 feet tall or something like
They're
that.
itty bitty, you know.
Yeah, I
and
pulled
they're
up a
definitely
YouTube video.
conversation piece.
Yeah.
But I mean, just to have like one singular thing that does one single function that's that big, they're like $200-300. Aren't
Yeah,
they?
I think the MK one is 300. It's got MK 1 through 3 on it.
That's
Yeah.
But it looked like
that's
you'd kind of
very
have to
pricey.
sit on a stool to play it.
Yeah,
You
at
really
least
can't
crouch
really,
over.
Yeah, you can't really
Yes.
stand up and play it. So
Yeah, that's something that you buy and just kind of leave in your house and never really use all that much.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I guess if
But
you
I've got a friend who keeps buying those damn things because he doesn't understand emulation. Like he doesn't he doesn't get it. Like he's a technophobe or whatever. But yeah, he keeps buying those damn things and keeps putting them in his house and
Tell him he can give me $300.
Yeah.
I'll set him up.
build something for him. But yeah, I've thought about it. But
I wonder how much you could get like a real ass MK machine for at this point. Like probably not that much, right?
No, you could,
$600.
depending on where you're at, you
In
know,
really
right
bad
place,
shape.
right time, who you know, all that sort of
Go
stuff.
down to
You probably-
California Extreme.
Yeah, if you're at California Extreme on the last day and people don't want to load things onto a truck,
Does that happen?
we got that fucking NBA Jam
has that
machine
happened?
for $100.
Really? Is that what it was? Like somebody just didn't feel like moving it out of there? Or?
No, in that case, no. That thing was was pretty banged up.
Ah.
But yeah, there have definitely been like, hey, I'll take a deal on this, or I'll cut you a deal on this because the alternative is I have to load it into this truck right now.
I'm not married to this thing.
That's certainly
Or like something
That's certainly
breaks and it's
happened.
like, I'll take it off your hands and fix it
right.
for a reduced price.
Wait, is that the same NBA Jam that's out front here?
No,
Oh, that's a different
it's
one?
in my garage now.
Oh, that's a different machine.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was the Sean Kuntz NBA Jam
Right. How hard
that
would
I
it?
don't need to own.
Sure.
Uh,
My understanding is this is not the easiest process, but if you wanted to get all three of those games into the same cabinet, that is doable, right?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah,
Okay.
you could get like a multi-JAMA style thing that lets you switch between the games. The wiring is different. So 1 and 2, I think, are a little more compatible than 2 and 3 because of the run button and just the which button is button 1 and stuff like that. I think changed. So you'd have to do some weird wire work and maybe have a switch that changes the button stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's anything's doable, right?
Yeah.
So you could probably figure that out.
Still got that MK2 board I bought on eBay 15 years ago sitting in my closet.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever opened the box.
I bought a Pit Fighter
Just
board for
sitting
some
there.
reason around that same time.
Why not?
And have never hooked it up.
It was $50.
Or I tried to hook it up and then it was like, oh, isn't this a medium res game? I fucked up. I fucked up.
Lifelong dream to own that thing.
Yeah. No, I don't have any need to own one of those. It's just not. You get it and gut it and throw a PC in it, or or Mister even. There's a lot of different stuff you could throw in there that would be more versatile than the shit that they're selling.
I mean, I'm sure they work as advertised, but
yeah, I don't know. I haven't really heard anything specific about the quality of like the emulation in them, if it's like really good or not. But
I know the screens aren't the highest res, for sure.
Yeah,
they're extremely cheap, and you look inside the thing, and it's just like an itty bitty board on the back of like a monitor, essentially.
Yeah,
it's just a little tiny thing.
it does have that Raiden side art though.
yeah.
Thomas in Tucson. I'm really sorry to say this, but Minecraft Cedo is the best Minecraft parody on Spotify.
Okay.
No.
No? Are you familiar with it?
No, I mean, I don't need to hear it to know
I
exactly
need
what
to
it
hear
is.
No, you didn't.
I do. Have you heard it?
No, but I don't want to hear it either.
Break us off a piece, Jan. We can judge for ourselves.
Find it on Spotify.
While he's looking for that,
You have to turn up our heads with the music because it's pretty low.
Thomas continues. Also, what are you guys listening to at the moment? Besides the masterpiece listed above. Personally, I have been really into Brockhampton and Quack Anthem off the Donut County soundtrack.
Baby! Yeah.
Well, Quack Anthem's just a
Quack Anthem's great. I like Brockhampton.
What is this?
classic.
They're a boy band.
Okay. Out of where?
I guess Southern California.
Okay.
From the internet, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From
they're
Kanye.
from a message board.
Yeah.
See, Ben, you're not actually old yet. Until you don't know who Brockhampton is, you can't call yourself old.
The week I decided I was going to check out Brockhampton to see what Brockhampton was all about was also the week that all the shit went down with Brockhampton.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I don't. Maybe I don't want to be a part of this. So
What should I ask?
Yeah.
there's a person that was in that group that is no longer in it.
Okay.
DDR music.
Okay, I changed my
Fell down
mind.
a DDR rabbit hole.
Did you know on Spotify there are bootleg Chipmunk songs?
Oh, what?
Like people are doing high-pitched versions
doing
of
their own,
songs,
like,
but
yeah.
it's like
Singing it normal and
it was
pitching
fucking
it up.
like I heard American Idiot the other day, and I was like, this seems like a somewhat like for the
Alvin would never.
for the Chipmunks license. This seems a little.
Look, I know the tariff rate is increasing to 25%, but
Yeah.
Alvin is going to stay out of the politics of it.
Yeah.
Theodore maybe, but Alvin is.
But then I looked at it a little more closely. It's like, oh, this is not even official actual Chipmunks. There's no Alvin, Simon, or Theodore here. This is just straight up people.
Is it the Chipettes?
No, it was not that. No, of course not.
That's Simon.
Don't be silly.
Simon got red pilled. We don't talk
We're
about
not
him.
talking about Simon. Yeah, no, he's
Okay.
Simon is streaming Artifact.
Yeah.
All right, Jan, hit us.
I couldn't find it.
What the fuck?
Doesn't exist.
Yep.
He just made that up. Nick from Herzogenaurach in Germany. After years of being in and around all sorts of different people from the video game world, has there been any magic that you had ruined for you once you understood how games and game making works? I worked as a sound technician for a while, and learning what really went on during, quote, live concerts came as a shock, such as the amount of backtracking, vocal processing, how much was faked, etc. I'm sure Jeff also has his fair share of music behind the scenes knowledge as well. I was wondering if you'd had any experiences like that in the video game business. Has anything you have seen or learned taken some of the magic out of games?
Some of it, I think, is probably just like related in the live performance sense of just like, oh, this E3 demo was totally fake,
Yeah.
and they were not actually playing the game.
I think
it
a
was
lot
just
of
footage.
I think a lot of that stuff is probably the biggest example of what he's talking
the
about.
story about Gears of War, transitioning from because it crashed and went from someone playing it to someone pretending to play footage. Like Cliff did
Wait,
that, right?
seamlessly?
Yeah.
Did nobody notice?
I don't know.
No,
that-
they noticed.
I don't know. Yeah, but, like there was something went on,
Yeah.
but I don't know that at the
Oh,
time.
it was obvious there
people
was a
knew-
crash.
I don't know if people knew at the time exactly what had happened. Just
Okay.
like, oh, there's something weird, but oh well, whatever. The demo's going again,
Mhm.
and that turned out to be the switch from
Recorded footage, yeah.
real to footage.
I continue to be shocked that anybody would do a live demo of anything. Like, remember that Uncharted demo like 4 E3s ago where just like the controller wouldn't sync up?
Yep.
And that they spent like almost 10 minutes trying to get a controller to work?
Live demo.
Remember
folks.
that?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of stuff like that. But I think that the main takeaways I have from like what game development is like is that it's way fucking harder than anyone ever thought it was, and it's a miracle that it happens at all. And, and this whole notion of like, oh, people are just lazy, or in a lot of cases, though it's not always the case, that like developers don't know the parts of their game that are fucked up. Like the number of times of like, oh no, yeah, you know what this game is. You reviewed it. You played it. We are in agreement that this game is a mess, but we got it out there. Like that. It's pretty common.
Yeah.
The developers are very savvy about the shortcomings of their game, almost to a fault in some cases.
Yeah. Different Nick from Dewsbury, England. Do you guys associate any games with a particular smell? For me, whenever I play Might and Magic 6, it reminds me of the smell of bleach. Similarly, when I smell bleach, I think of that game. I can only assume
I think about that game a lot.
I can only assume this is because my mom was doing some bathroom shit while I was playing it one time.
Kind of.
Just like
I remember my friends got me a copy of Dragon Age 2, and I was really, really sick. Like I just getting out of the hospital for like 2 weeks or something like that. So I remember that feeling every time I think about Dragon Age 2, and it's not a good feeling.
a lot of people feel that feeling when they play Dragon Age 2.
I think of the taste of room temperature 7-Up and saltines when I think of Mega Man X and X2, because I remember being sick for a few days, really sick in elementary school for a few days, and drinking a lot of room temperature 7-Up and playing a lot of Mega Man X and X2. So
or if
even when I
ever
boot
like
those games up, I'll think of it.
Like the smell of someone like smearing dog shit on their underarms and Smash Brothers, like that's kind of
Yeah, I get
Are you
that.
sure you're not thinking of Pokemon?
I try not to think about Pokemon. That's not really smeared on the underarms. That's a different. It's a different smell.
It's all over,
It's
baby.
tossed
It's a
into the
different shit
underarms.
smell. Yeah, that's a hotel hallway, and then also shit. Which hotel hallways have their own unique kind of scent a lot of the time.
Especially in Vegas.
Yeah, that kind of like stale smoke. Like we used to let people smoke in here.
I was
now
on
you're
a-
on a non-smoking floor.
When I went to that NAB trip, I was on the weed floor for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Like every time the elevator opened
Oh
up.
God, it's now, but you know, it's just a bunch of videotechs. Every floor is probably the weed floor at that thing.
Seriously, yeah. Old school dudes.
All right.
Cal Extreme.
I just realized we are on a Nick streak here.
Oh boy, fuck.
Our third Nick
The bad.
from Quebec City.
Break this fucking chain before it's too late.
I just ate 10-year-old buffalo sauce from Burger King with my lunch today.
What?
Don't do that.
Why, you might ask? Well, my wife and I, when we used to eat fast food chains on a weekly basis, didn't like to throw out the extra sauce packets given with the order.
Okay.
Sure.
Fast forward to today, when I opened my lunchbox and saw one of these little packets. It was marked from 2009. I opened it anyway, tasted it, and it was surprisingly okay. 4 hours have passed, and I'm still alive and feeling good.
I kind of want to follow up to see where he's at.
I just wanted to share that experience with someone and thought you might appreciate it.
That doesn't answer the question why you did it. Oh, I had it, so I did it. That's not a good enough reason to eat 10-year-old food.
Have you ever
from
really
Burger
needed
King.
buffalo sauce?
No.
Not that bad.
Not that bad.
I don't know. It's pretty good.
It is.
It's in there. It's sealed.
It's full of chemicals.
Yeah, like maybe it just keeps.
It might have just kept, but on principle, I would never even put a 10-year-old fast food item near my mouth, and that includes Happy Meal toys.
What about an MRE?
Those are designed to those are ready to eat,
Yeah,
Brad.
that's fair. So is this?
I had a can of Sonic O's, the Sonic the Hedgehog, like pasta stuff.
I thought you were talking about anime again.
Apparently, the can had gotten punctured at some point. I had been keeping it for years just for the laughs or whatever, but it had gotten moldy to the point that it was like growing out of the can, and it was on the back of the can, so I had no idea. Pulled it out one day, and it's just disgusting.
That's
Sonic in general.
Yeah. Yep.
Full of mold.
Yeah.
From a distance, you're like, oh, Sonic's over there. But as
Yeah.
soon as you get up close and look around, like,
Nope,
putrid.
Not
That's
sure that I'd like this anymore.
That is a being made of pure fungus.
My Sonic the Hedgehog 3 lifesavers, nothing's growing out of the packaging yet.
Right.
And
Good.
that's not even like a very tight seal. Who would eat those if I brought those in? Anyone?
Ben and I will do it.
Oh, candy keeps.
I like that Jan just
Yeah.
throws me under the
Content.
bus. Yeah, I know. I was
Ben's lens, baby.
I was getting ready to raise.
You
my
guys,
hand.
you guys are young and hardy. You'll be fine.
Neither of those.
It's the same.
John in Jersey. With your recent discussions of auto chess, I was thinking about Archon, that early EA game that I fondly remember playing on my Commodore 64. Is auto chess the modern equivalent of Archon? And if not, what do you guys think a modern remake would look and play like?
There was that PlayStation game, was it Wrath Unleashed, I think it's called.
Oh yeah, I remember that name.
It's kind of a spiritual.
Was that also EA?
It might have been
PS2 and Xbox?
Go look up
Sure.
Archon.
Published by LucasArts.
Okay.
I vaguely remember that game.
Yeah, but there was like someone trying to make like that's like a more modern take on that kind of Archon concept. So it probably looked like another step up from that, I guess. I don't remember if that game was any good or not.
Archon?
No, Wrath Unleashed. But Archon, like was it Free Fall, like Archon 2 or whatever it was. Hell of a game.
It's not just chess, right?
No, it's
never played
it's like a
Archon.
fighting game almost.
Okay. But with a board.
Yeah, so there's like a meta layer of like you want to control these power points or eliminate the opposing faction, and so it looks like a chessboard, but when pieces meet, you have a one-on-one fight.
Oh, you have to fight manually?
It's action.
It's not like Advanced Wars,
No.
just animation of...
I have played this.
And depending on what space you're on and who attacks who, like it's going to affect the life levels of the two characters. Because like if you're on a power point and someone attacks you, you're defending that power point, so you have the power. It's like so. There's
It's kind of its own
those
thing.
types of
Okay.
Yeah.
Brad, you reviewed this.
No.
Wrath Unleashed?
No.
You did.
No. I refuse to believe that.
What score did it get?
Scrolling down.
7.3.
Yeah.
Okay.
That didn't happen.
All right.
Somebody went in the CMS and changed the byline on that.
It was me, knowing that question was coming.
Just now.
Okay, well, add Wrath Unleashed to the list with spy fiction of games that I reviewed and completely forgot about ever playing afterwards. No offense to Sweaty.
Well, you knew what I was talking about when it came up. So
yeah,
there's
that's-
something in
the
there.
name.
Yeah.
The name is still rattling
That
around
would
in
be
there.
a cool game.
Yeah.
They should make something like that.
I started to ask how Archon matched up to Battle Chess, but I guess they're not really the same thing
not
at all.
Not really.
Because that was just kind of Advance Wars, right? Just
I
like
think so.
you took a piece and there was just an animation of the piece killing the other piece.
Well, that was just like chess, but or like with animations, right? Is there even any
That's what
kind
I
of
mean.
different gameplay there, or is
I
it
don't
just
think
straight
so.
up chess?
Yeah, I
with-
think it's
You have to go to Chess 2 for that.
Yeah.
literally
okay.
just chess
David
with.
Sirlin's
It's
Chess 2.
just chess with animations of pieces killing each other.
okay.
That was Battle Chess.
Chess Maniac, 5 billion and one.
That's right. What about Chessmaster?
Yeah.
Chessmaster had that kindly looking old dude on the front.
Yeah.
Chessmaster 2000.
So that's Chess Maniac is the parody of Chessmaster.
Okay.
It was originally going to be called Chessmeister, but because Meister just means master, I think they were
Aw,
worried about getting sued in some
That's-
territories.
that's a shame.
So it became Chess Maniac.
Okay, then.
And it's
You should have called it Chess Blaster.
yeah,
I'm still thinking about Chess
but
2.
it's just Math
Could
Blaster.
you imagine having the audacity to make your game and call it Chess 2? Like, the world's most loved and historic game.
Yeah.
I have finally made it better. Scientifically, this is...
Hey, there was
Here it
a,
is, the sequel to Chess.
there was a Tetris 2.
Yeah.
But that makes sense. That's a video game
there a
and then
Go
a video game
2?
2. There's, is there football 2, soccer 2? I guess the XFL
There's
is for that.
basketball too.
Yeah.
With slam ball, motherfucker.
Slam ball
Yeah.
is the XFL.
Basketball is kind of like a 1.5.
Yeah. Do you think there are people somewhere playing basketball?
I was thinking
Oh,
the same
totally.
thing.
If there are people
Yeah.
playing
It's Matt
Quidditch
Stone
in
and Trey
Golden Gate
Parker.
Park,
Yeah.
there's people playing basketball for real.
Wait, are the rules of that clearly spelled out enough that you can play it?
From watching the movie, I think you could get a good sense of like what most of the rules are.
There's a lot of
it's
drinking.
free throw shooting with insults.
Yeah.
I'm kind
There
of
was a
tempted.
really good ska cover of a song in that movie.
As a Real Big Fish covered
Yeah.
Hungry Like the Wolf in that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of tempted to go into some of the emails that came in on Memorial Day, which I have not looked at yet. What do you think?
Do it.
Dig in, man.
Take a dip.
Just emails with no net?
It should have been a basketball video game, but like if it's an insult-based thing, how do you actually represent that in
Just have an
gameplay?
open mic and it's online.
Okay, all right, yeah, that'll always work.
Does that movie hold up?
Probably not. I don't
Probably not.
All right, here are some
know. It's no
blind.
Orgasmo.
What is, though?
A few things.
Oh. All right, here's some blind emails. Here's one from Brian. What are the odds that Jeff orders everything on the menu at Del Taco just for the sport of it?
No, it's
60%.
I don't like most of their menu actually. So
It's lowering now.
there's kind of
10%.
the go-to standards. Last time I was there, though, when I was heading down for that LA stuff, I did get a fake meat, like a Beyond taco from there.
Oh.
We talked about this.
That was
That
after
was after
show.
show. That was after show shit. Yeah, tune into the after show if you want to hear me talk about this fake
Fast
meat
food.
taco.
I didn't know the Beyond Meat was getting out into other formats.
Yeah, Carl's
Oh,
Jr.
yeah.
has it, and Del Taco has it.
I saw
Burger King's-
Beyond Sausage the other day.
Mhm.
Safeway.
The taco was fine, but also it was almost $3 for like a regular ass kind of
Wow.
taco. So that's, but it was good. Whatever.
Here's an email from Felix. It says, greetings from Germany. On the last game tapes, the question was asked what Velocity Girl is up to now. Not much. Still sitting at 0 gamer points in 2019.
Really?
Striker and Bear, on the other hand, are active.
Cool.
Good to know.
He includes screenshots of all of those profiles.
What about hero protagonists?
I mean, wasn't that Allard's
Allard, yeah.
personal account?
That was what they always said.
I mean, is there an easy way to find out?
Just look it up.
I mean, what's the fastest? I feel like the Xbox site and community stuff is so.
Yeah. Well, you could just cobble together a URL. Just go to any of your friends on Xbox Live on Xbox.com and then type in his thing in the URL.
Yes, searching hero protagonist Xbox profile does not exactly get you where you need to be.
You could also do that. What? I bet.
Talk amongst yourselves. I'll figure this out.
Go to trueachievements.com.
Do they have player info there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone probably scraped that account and put it into that database
Sure.
at some point, even if it doesn't
Okay.
have a real account.
What is the fastest way to get to a profile?
Get on
here?
anyone's profile and then just change out the.
I'm trying to find a profile.
Let me see if there are any hot updates on Death Stranding. And no, it's still hands.
Okay. Still hands.
Still just a
Hand check?
bunch of
Hand check. Death Stranding.
Here we go.
Death Stranding
Site
hand check.
site leader. Wait, that can't be right. No.
What?
Is their site leaderboard measured in gamer score? No. No, never mind.
No,
They've got
they
their
have a
own.
meta layer of.
Okay, because I was going to say there's somebody
difficulty.
on here about to hit 4,000 points. I mean, 4 million points.
Yeah.
But they're only like 2 point something million gamer score. All right, here goes.
Okay.
They don't make it clear which one is which. I assume the lower number is his actual gamer score, and the higher number is the like true achievement score.
Yeah.
So Jay Allard has just under 60,000 gamer score.
Okay.
That's not nothing.
It's
not
For
nothing.
an
Yeah.
executive.
It's not nothing, but for the guy who helped launch the platform,
I mean, he's a busy man, I imagine.
he's got almost 2,000 separate achievements in over 200 games.
Most recent achievement is in that 0 degree beat drop game. That was an XBLA game. Left 4 Dead 2.
Yeah.
So.
Recent games: Blur, Forza 3,
Oh boy.
Dirt 2. I don't think he's ever played an Xbox One.
Do you think that was right about the time that he was on his way out of there?
Yeah, because I mean, he moved over to like Zune or something at some point.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well,
He was-
okay. That's right. But
He got transferred around in Microsoft.
But
Is my
when was he
understanding.
out of the
And then I don't know when
company?
he actually left.
Yeah.
I could probably figure
It
that
was
out.
a lot of fun watching that game tapes. I had never seen that original Xbox 360 announcement conference and getting the fucking trio of power between
Yeah.
Allard,
And
Ballmer,
Bach
and Bach.
and Peter Moore.
Yeah.
And more,
they-
yeah.
The three-headed hydra of the Xbox leadership.
Right.
Uh,
Different
Wow.
time.
yeah, this apparently he was only on 360 for 2 years, and then he moved to Zune in 2007.
Okay.
So he was actually not. So he was playing games on the 360 well after that.
Yeah.
Yes, he left Microsoft in 2010.
Okay.
So that probably is right about the time that he stopped playing Xbox games.
Yeah.
Maybe he bought a PS4.
He like started a bike company or something, didn't he?
Oh, shit.
Some kind of.
Yeah,
I
Men's
forget what it
fashion.
was.
I think he was into
Yeah.
some
bike thing.
Portland ass thing like that.
Yeah.
All right. Let me try to pull a couple more emails here. Nathan Faye Scotland
All right.
is how he signs his email. Just recently got myself a Razer Blade 15. I've not had a gaming capable PC for about 10 years. My head is spinning with FPS watching, ray tracing, talking, and CPU clocking. As a console gamer, I've never really had to consider any of this. With the future of the console gaming on the horizon, do you think 60 hertz will always be the norm there? I can't help but notice...
It's not the norm now.
Yeah, well, but it's what they're capable of.
Sure.
I can't help but notice that PC players really believe that above 60 frames per second is essential for pro gaming, given the fact that most modern living room TVs are 60 hertz 4K. Are the console developers going to struggle to get players to convert to higher frame rate in the next generation?
Some of that is dictated by TV technology and all that sort of stuff, but it's like they started to put FreeSync technology into some TVs.
Yeah.
The Xbox One actually supports FreeSync.
Yes.
I
I want to say like whatever the next big HDMI spec is has it built in.
yeah.
So eventually they'll all have it.
Right.
But like when did developers ever use console horsepower for frame rate? Like not often.
Yeah. Oh, some do, some don't. You know, it depends on the game.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. Did you follow any of the
Comdex.
the Computex?
Isn't it Comdex that's going on right now?
No, I thought it was Computech that was
I thought it
happening
was-
right now.
I could have sworn it was. Maybe you're right.
Like
I don't know.
They announced
the
the
big
Ryzen
CompuServe?
stuff.
Yeah, I hear
convention?
that new AMD stuff sounds quite good,
Yeah.
is my understanding.
And then they said, hey, we're gonna have more to say about like the Navi, like the GPU end of things.
Yeah.
Come E3.
Sounds like they're making a big gaming push.
Well, I mean, if they're powering the
yeah,
consoles, like,
which you might do
they
if you
have
were-
yeah,
If you're working on a bunch of new gaming hardware behind the scenes for Sony and Microsoft.
right. And then Nvidia, like there was the story about Nvidia like getting out there and like they put out that press release talking up kind of their current stuff, and one of it was like, "Yo, man, Quake 2."
Yeah, that enhanced version of the Quake 2 ray tracing stuff is coming out next week.
That looks pretty
I'm
good.
excited.
It's
Yeah,
like
we,
that.
I mean, we played it. You know, it's.
This
I
is.
don't-
Have you
is-
seen the new one? It
Okay,
is
I've not. Okay.
dramatically
All
different.
right. Okay.
Hugely different.
Okay.
You should go watch that video.
I will, because I saw it just like when that was a cool fan thing that we were or like a open source thing that someone made and we downloaded. It was like, oh, that's a really cool use. But there's
Yeah.
something about like Nvidia pushing, yo man, we updated Quake 2 as like a thing that just says like no one else is supporting this shit in games yet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Like
of-
it's coming, but like this is what we have to talk about.
I mean,
Quake fucking 2.
yeah, like I'm of two minds on it because the way they keep pushing Quake 2 like it's a big deal is kind of ridiculous because it's not even close to the best Quake,
It's the one with colored lighting.
I guess.
It's probably like one of the ones that would be the most impressive for this specific
Sure.
use of the tech.
But I mean, well,
don't know,
anything
yeah.
would that they added it to.
I
But,
guess,
but on
yeah.
the other hand, it was an open source project, and they're open sourcing all their changes, which they're supposed to
right,
do. Like
yeah.
that's all on the level. I mean, that's fine. But
No, I don't think there's anything shady about it. I think it's more just like
Yeah,
indicative
yes.
of like, hey, ray tracing's not
Like-
ready yet.
like the
because-
launch trailer they put out yesterday, where it's like the legend returns
Yeah,
or
man.
whatever. It's like, dude, no,
No,
come on.
Like that just struck me as a little sad more than anything
I do.
else.
I do think those old games do kind of provide kind of a cool canvas to show that stuff off, though, because they're
Yeah.
so like flat and featureless.
And they're so like vivid and stuck in your mind
Right.
of what they look
yes.
like.
Yes. A, you know what they look like. B, there's like not a lot of other detail to lose the ray tracing stuff
Yeah,
in, so you can
like,
really
you get
see
the context of like here's what's
Yeah,
happening.
you should really
It
go look
makes
at that
sense.
footage
All
of what they've
I will
done.
look
It's
at
it
If
is
because
super
I thought
impressive.
it was just they were hey they
No,
picked
no,
up
no,
the
no.
source changes that the guy that made that.
Was it
No,
better
there's-
than that Minecraft one?
It's tough to say. You haven't seen it either.
I haven't.
It's a lot more like time of day stuff. It's a lot more like, hey, look at the sunlight pouring through these windows.
There's
and-
lots of
and-
windows, yeah.
Yeah, like they added volumetric lighting, so there's a bunch of god rays
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
through, and it looks, and they move time of day around a lot, so you can see like what it's like with the sun moving. It's nice looking stuff.
That's cool.
Neat.
I'm really looking forward to it. I actually downloaded. They put out all their stuff now that previous generation cards can run ray tracing.
Right.
They put out drivers so that the non-RTX cards can do it. I get like 10 to 15 frames a second in that Star Wars, that Stormtrooper thing
Oh.
that they put out on a 1080. So it works.
Yeah.
Not great,
Right.
but it works. You know what? Actually, all right. Last email. Casey from Cincinnati. Ray traced Quake makes me wonder, will ray traced game updates be the next HD update? Are they going to re-release Skyrim, etc., but this time with ray traced lighting? I bet yes, but what will we call them? That seems like a marketing hurdle. What game is...
Skyrim RTX done.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure Nvidia would love to have all of them branded with their shit.
Yeah. What games would you want to see with ray traced visuals? Red Dead, Halo, Pac-Man Championship Edition.
I think that a lot of games that are attempting to be realistic in nature would benefit from that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
and like you could do it in a lot. That video you were showing me of Control, I think it's like the GDC demo for Control, like throwing light sources around. I thought that was really impressive.
Yeah, there's a bit in that video where they just like telekinetically pick up a lamp and throw it in the shadows. Like
that's pretty awesome.
It looks pretty awesome. That Minecraft video, probably the actual best thing out there you can look at right now if you just want to see like, all right, show me about. I mean, like Minecraft,
but that's not even like pure.
It's not
ray tracing.
It's mostly path tracing based, and they talk about a bunch of limitations in that specific implementation. But I think the Quake 2 stuff is also more path traced. But that thing. I mean, Minecraft is practically like a weird lab, like test bench anyway. Yeah, and they just built a level that shows a bunch of that stuff off. But that thing is a really good example of like where that stuff's going. And why it matters.
I think that stuff, that stuff will get there. It's just, there's something weird about them promoting Quake 2 as a big deal.
Yeah, I agree.
It just has a real like.
It's a strange game. It's just it happened because somebody had already started the work and they just picked it up and ran with it. Like I don't know that there's like a push for stuff like Skyrim though necessarily.
If it gets to a point where that stuff's like not difficult to implement, and I'm sure that's a game by game thing, then I guess I would say I don't know that I'd see that as something that people sell.
Yeah.
In some cases, because if we're talking about PC games, like would they sell Skyrim all over again just on the basis of now the lighting is good, or would they just do it because they're already doing engine work on their next game that they can apply? I don't know.
Yeah.
I bet they would love to sell you Skyrim again.
Oh yeah, they'll find a way eventually. It'll be an add-on for Fallout 76, like a terminal you can walk up to and it just runs Skyrim.
Oh boy!
Like finally.
Yeah.
NPCs, we got all this cool shit in here now.
Storylines.
It's wild.
Wow.
Quests.
Houses you can walk into.
Whoa.
Man. That's too much. All right, that'll do it for emails. Bombcast@giantbomb.com. That's where they were sent.
Yes. Send some more.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. I guess the countdown is on.
Yeah,
a lot more planning left to do and stuff to pack up, and
we're getting there.
Yeah. Things are slowly but surely coming together.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's always a different time every year. Like sometimes it's not until I'm like driving down that I'm like, oh yeah, E3. But I am excited for the show. It's not not necessarily like because I think there's some interesting unknowns more than anything else, and I think that like the show, the nature of it is changing so much that I just want to see what the fuck it is.
Yeah.
What does that show floor look like? You look at the floor plan, you're like, that doesn't look great. But I want to see it in action.
I mean, if you have that much of a deep interest in what E3 is, there's plenty. There's plenty.
But also, like,
there's plenty to sink your teeth into.
I think there will be plenty of games to sink your teeth into too. Like, will it be the biggest show ever? Like in terms of number of games and excitement? Like, probably not.
Yeah,
almost certainly not. Let's just say no. But
how's our booking been? Like, are we pretty much at capacity?
In terms of the show floor appointments, there's more. I would say at this point there's more than I expected.
Okay,
which I don't mean in a negative way necessarily. I'm not trying to say like E3 is dying or anything, but like early on it was like, this is not a very packed schedule. Like there's not much going on here, but I feel like enough stuff continues to come in that it's like, all right, like it's worth having a whole team of people here.
Okay.
There's enough stuff to go see. It's just not all of it is of the...
I think
I don't want to say caliber. I'm not saying they're bad games, but not everything is like the most momentous release ever.
So you're saying it's 50% Switch ports. I get it.
There's there's more indie-ish games around than I would have expected. Maybe.
Yeah.
Let's say.
Yeah.
To fill the space.
Indies found some ways to
large companies
get in and around E3 over the last few years.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
I mean, I think the biggest question for me is just how much of the new stuff do we see? How much of a new console does Microsoft actually show?
Yeah. Like is it focused purely on hardware and specs? Is it like, hey, here are some games running?
Right. Like,
is it, hey, we're actually going to let you touch and play a game on this new thing? Or
do we show a new controller? Do we have a new name? Is it just a bunch of B-roll of a motherboard?
Yeah.
So
are they starting an ARG?
Hopefully.
Lead up to the reveal of it.
Okay.
LFBs. All right. I guess that's going to do it this week then. We'll have some stuff though.
Oh yeah.
As three things happen.
Yeah. For sure.
After show.
That after show right now.
Speaking of, stay tuned for the after show if you're live.
We're gonna filth it up.
That's right.
Okay.
I don't know. I just made that up. All right. That's
all right.
All right.
That Ben's unbuttoning a shirt.
We're taking it to Silver Island.
All right. If you're live, stay tuned for the after show. If you're not, thanks for listening, and we'll see you back here next week.
Support for today's show came to you in part from new Starbucks Triple Shot Energy. Starbucks Triple Shot Energy has 225 milligrams of caffeine from Starbucks coffee, a hint of flavor, and enhanced with guarana, B vitamins, and ginseng for the energy to do what matters to you. It's available in 3 delicious flavors, including French vanilla, cafe mocha, and caramel. Find it in your local grocery or convenience store.